We got a crowd cheering.
We have a
us
crowd.
in.
Yeah. Our live studio audience.
Oh, what happened?
Oh no.
I'll never get sick of you.
Oh no.
I like for a podcast that we do once a year. I just want to.
What are you talking? We did it so many times this year. We're looking back on a grand
My mistake.
year.
We got the whole fucking
podcast. They all missed them.
The AG Green sponsorship. Audible's giving us millions. You know, we're signed to HeadGum.
What's the mattress one?
Ooh,
they gave us mattresses.
There's a lot. Casper.
Yeah.
They didn't give us any mattresses though.
No, I know.
I thought that was like part of the deal.
Next year.
But
we can just be giving away mattresses.
Yeah.
You know?
We can. I think I mentioned this last year, but that laughter Nickelodeon button,
yeah,
it plays a random laugh track every time I press it. Out of like 16. So it's kind of a gamble. I kind of want to put some like really bad laughs in there. So it's like, let's see how well the joke did.
Throw some booze in there. Just so we...
Yeah. This one's like, that was, they don't know how to feel.
No, that's like when, that's when a character who was written out of the show because they like cheated on someone. Like in the show, you know, like they did a bad thing and then they show up back and the audience is like,
what's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
This is
we
gonna
liked
get
him, but they're kind of a villain.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
That's how it is. This is the Thriller mic.
Yeah, Evan. Okay,
don't I sound
welcome
like
back
Thriller?
To the podcast. Evan is talking into a Shure SM7B.
Yeah,
I'm talking into the Audio Technica AT2020 that we used to use.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 2 mic setup now.
We're professional.
You can cheer for that. You can. I think it's just gonna make me sound worse by comparison, but that's okay. The things we do to not huddle around one microphone.
It's got to be a net positive.
I think so. I can process them differently.
It's better than
I think it'll be good.
Both of us sounding bad on one mic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I also feel like there's I hope we can get the toilet flushing there.
I also hope so too. I heard
my sister isn't home.
Oh no.
You know, because she's in Vancouver now. So like there's no fucking reason for anyone to use that bathroom. So,
yeah.
You know,
what's up with that?
Let's be a little respectful.
Don't they know there's a very important podcast going on? Most important podcast in the world.
Most important podcast in the world. Welcome to the 2023 technically Tan Awards. We don't name about the year it is. It's the year that we're giving awards for.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Let's look
at the YouTube. Hold on.
Is this the third or fourth one we've done?
I think
it's the third where we're trying.
I think it's the fourth ever. Because the first one was Andrew I got him saying it's the 2019 Talking About Nothing Awards.
Yeah.
And then we did
2019.
So that was in 2020.
Not a real year.
Yeah. So that was in 2020. We called it 2019. And then the next year. Oh wait, hold on. This could be like the 5th.
I don't think it's the 5th. Maybe really? That would be crazy.
Nah, it's got to be 4. Okay, there was the one where Andrew had the theme song. There was the one where I put I made my own theme song with Baby Keem going ba-da-da boom.
Yeah. Then we had the West Side Gun one.
Oh, the West Side Gun one.
Was that last year? 2 years ago.
2 years, because I don't think I did a theme song last year.
Okay. Did you do one this year?
No.
I don't know. That's okay.
I've been busy.
I understand.
I put my effort into watching a lot of movies and listening to a lot of albums.
And that's a way better use of content.
Maybe next year I'll actually make some music.
You don't gotta.
We'll see. Anyway,
it's
we have the
you.
fucking the regular
Talking about
song.
nothing with Evan and Keelan.
I made this when I was, 17 years old?
Yeah, something like that. It's a huge banger.
What a talented boy I was.
What a talented young man.
2023. What a year.
Yeah, it was a year, wasn't it?
What did you
all
learn
the years,
this year?
It was one of them. The real 2023 was the friends we made along the way.
So true.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
What else did I learn this year?
How to fill dead air on a podcast. Me too, man.
I
learned movies are cool.
ASMR.
Yeah. We could hit some.
About
We're
that?
listening to some.
What if we
you're
just
listening
did
to
this?
Corona Ices on acrylics?
Yeah.
Um.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. What did you learn this year?
I don't know that 2023 is a chill year to be in.
2023 was a pretty chill year to be in.
Yeah.
It was good. I had a good time.
Me too.
We've had worse years.
Yeah.
Most definitely. There were
I mean,
highs,
in
there were
terms of
lows.
global events, one of the most depressing. But other than that,
Yeah.
like
in our lives,
personally,
personally.
in my little
It was
bubble I
alright.
live in, I was doing pretty dope.
Right. Do you still, speaking of years, do you still maintain that 2016 wasn't that great a year?
Yeah.
Was that you?
Yes.
Okay.
No, my
Great
take's
year.
more insane than that.
Okay.
My take is when we were in 2016, we
Oh,
hated it.
Yeah.
And then we glorified it because all you remember about years are the albums that come out.
Yeah,
in
and
those
Pokemon
years.
Go.
And it was a great year for albums and Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
The second part of my take,
One of the best.
which is what you actually have a problem with, is that
Okay.
the pandemic hit, and I said, listen, it sucks right now, but this is going to be romanticized, and everyone's going to pretend it was great in like 3 years.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're doing that?
Kind of.
I think people just like I don't know if that had to do with the year, but we were flirting with class consciousness. That's what we do now cuz we're like, remember it was actually kind of cool to stay inside and not go to work and get money.
There was a silver lining
and just be able
to
live, you know? Like we learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone looks back and was like, I had a great time.
I don't. Well,
Did you
I
have
don't
a
think it's
good
a
time?
universal experience that everyone hated it.
Yeah.
But I think most of us have forgotten how shitty it was. by now.
Yeah. I mean, I
degree.
guess I'm gonna, to your point, I don't even think it was like there was just nothing happening. It was just boring.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. It was bad for some people, but not for me. And that's how I gauge the years, based on how I did personally.
For sure.
As we all do.
As we all do. It was a weird time because, like, people in, like my age and a couple, like, a year or two older, younger, I mean, we all missed out on, like, when we became legal drinking age, and that kind of blew. But then we all, at the same time, by coincidence, got radicalized by Twitch.tv. So, like, we all became leftists. So it's kind of like a give and take, you know?
Yeah. You don't think that would have happened if you could have just
Not to the
gone
same
out
degree.
and bought
I was
beer?
bored as shit, man. You think I'm thinking about, like, class struggle in the club?
No, probably not.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed to do fucking jigsaw puzzles at home for, like, a couple months, you know?
Just watch people play chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hog Champs was great, you know?
Champs was great.
Let's take a sip of beer at the same time. Anyways.
This episode's brought to you
Do
by
we usually wax
Corona
before the
Extra.
awards? I don't remember.
Do we wax?
Waxing is just talking about
Just
shit, shooting
talking?
the shit.
Sometimes we just get
Alright.
right into it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a free-flowing environment.
Can I add
guess.
an award and just, like, debut it right now?
Yeah, why not?
Podcast of the year.
Podcast. Oh,
You listen to many podcasts? Or do you just, like, know that ours is the best? and
I
you
don't
just-
listen to that many podcasts. I know that ours is the best.
Yeah.
And it's annual.
But we can't award it to ourselves because that's, like, fucked up.
No.
There's a bias there.
I listen to a lot of Throwing Fits,
Yeah.
which, if it's by numbers, that's my podcast of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite podcasts every year is almost, equally nerdy in a different realm, which is just the A24 podcast.
Right.
Because
Yeah. I haven't listened to that in a while. Have they gotten good spots this year?
there were some good ones, but I
Okay.
actually, you know what? I can't even say if I like. No, I don't know. I don't even know if I was listening to episodes from this year. I was just listening to the podcast a lot.
Yeah.
So in my life, it was big.
It was, yeah.
But I
You
said
hit the
this
back
many
catalog.
Yeah, exactly. Many times I've said they're the best podcast at pairing random guests together.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think the
it's-
episode that exemplifies that the best is when they got Elsie Fisher
Yeah.
from 8th grade
Yes.
and Molly Ringwald, who's like the star of like every like John Hughes movie, like 16 Candles and like The Breakfast Club, like also known for portraying a teenager, but is now
it's smart,
like 50-year-old woman, and like that's such a great,
it's a great blend for
same
sure.
Fonts.
My favorite was fucking Nathan Fielder and Alexa Demi. That's just a killer. Who comes up with that? You know,
I just changed my Bozo of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Also, I'm just processing what you were saying.
Yeah.
That is so true. No, they're great.
They're great.
They're great.
Fantastic.
For this interview I have to do next week, I'm supposed to talk about somebody, one of the questions they sent me to prepare. I'm supposed to talk about just a Canadian who I would like to interview.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to say who they are and why I'd want to interview them. And I only get to ask one question. And what would my question be?
Okay.
And one of the people I was thinking about saying was Nathan Fielder.
Yeah.
And
UVic,
my question...
dropout. No, alum. UVic alum.
He graduated.
Business.
From one of Canada's top business schools with really
Thomas
good grades.
Middleditch was the dropout.
Yeah.
And he got canceled. So if you don't want to get canceled, graduate from UVic.
Graduate from UVic, yeah. It's a foolproof strategy.
Yeah.
But my question, I thought, would just be, are you joking?
That's a good one.
I think that would be good.
I think he'd say fuck off. What was the...
Maybe. I think if I got him in an honest environment, I don't know.
There was a tweet I saw like the other day where someone was like, oh, I went... Like Nathan Fielder like came to my college or something, and I brought with me like some product that was like a bit from one of his shows.
Yeah.
And then he pointed at the guy and he was like, did you buy that just for this? That's weird. And then there was a Q&A portion later, and then he puts his hand up and he goes, I already said something to you. He put his hand down. That's it. He doesn't get a question because he was acknowledged.
I've never thought about him being like a mean guy.
No, I think he did it for the bit, but like, you know, he doesn't break character just to like be like, oh, nobody's ever asked me that if I'm doing a bit or not.
Yeah.
I will break character now.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, I'm not saying it's the most practical thing to do in real life. I just think it'd be funny to present to a interview committee.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'm podcast of the year. Those would be the two. Or I listen to a lot of Behind the Bastards.
Behind the Bastards, what's that?
You don't know about Behind the Bastards?
I don't think so.
They just it's like a history podcast, and they just talk about terrible people, you know? Right. They got whole episodes on all sorts of bad people. Okay. One of the ones that stuck out to me was like Coco Chanel. A bunch of dictators. Coco Chanel was hilarious because they were like, she revolutionized women's fashion and then was also a Nazi. Isn't that crazy?
That's a fun mix. Yeah. Hugo Boss style.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm nodding.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the fans at home. Yeah.
Give it up for Hugo Boss.
Yeah. What was your podcast of the year? This was you
thought I don't know. I just came up with the idea right now. I listen to Headgum podcast every week without fail. I think it's the funniest thing ever because it's a podcast that's bad on purpose. And
like this one. No, I'm just kidding. This one's great on purpose.
Yes, and this year especially was incredible because like he's been doing this thing for a couple years. Jeff James, the host, where like he does song parodies of other songs, and it started with The Rhythm of the Night. He changed to The Rhythm of the Rice.
Right.
And he's singing about rice. And they're all rice themed. But this year he decided, I'm going to make this like an album. So I have to make more of these. And it was almost every like second or third week he'd have a new song parody. And there was like Burning All the Rice for Burning Down the House. All of the Rice from All of the Lights. That was incredible. And then there were ones where it doesn't work at all, like Take a Walk on the Wild Side. He says, use a walk to ensure burned char. So those, like, the worse they are, the more entertained you are most of the time. But, like, he really did put in a lot of work for a guy that, like, every single episode the guests bully him for doing no work.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. It's great content. I also liked Scott Aukerman and Adam Scott's You Springin' Springsteen on My Bean, which is their Bruce Springsteen podcast, and I'm still listening to that weekly, and it made me a little bit of a Springsteen fan. He's chill. I'm not on like
cool
Yorgo level, but like, you know, close to.
No, he's
a cool guy.
He's good.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that you can take away from learning about Bruce Springsteen at this age is that he is just like a lot better than I ever gave him credit for.
Yeah.
And
like Nebraska's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know?
He
has a lot of range.
No, he is. He's really good. And he just embraces this thing that I think a lot about in music now, which is just like this shameless kind of cringe.
Yeah.
In a lot of his stuff.
Sure.
You know, it's very like poppy, I guess, where just it's super sing-alongy.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I mean, Bruce Springsteen is actually not a great example of this, but I also think of him when I think of this, where sometimes things are just like not subtle at all what he's singing about. He's like, we're driving down a highway and stuff. And you're like, no, but that's not a metaphor. You are driving.
I'll put a pin in that because there's an album that I have that exact take on for later. Yeah. But also like I have a lot of respect for songwriter. Like I remember last year we were talking about Cave World by Viagra Boys.
Yeah.
And every song on there is exactly about what you think it's about.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're just making fun of an assassin baby or whatever. Yeah. That's the whole song. Or like the fucking troglodyte. Yeah. We're calling the listener a troglodyte. That's it. It's like, there's no depth, and it's amazing. It doesn't need any depth.
No, exactly. And it's like music that I think about this with like the band Bleachers a lot. Yeah. Which is where I came up with this, where I'm not a huge fan of the band, but I like some of their songs, and I think they exemplify that. And just all of Jack Antonoff's songwriting, I think exemplifies just this shameless cringe, where he's talking about his feelings, and there's no subtlety to it. Yeah. But I kind of love it. I don't mind. It doesn't have to be, you know? Yeah. It's kind of like music that you would think like a pop song that would be written by like AI, but then is actually kind of good. Because it's what the AI is trying to copy, is what I'm trying to say. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
It's the most surface level shit that the AI can actually like comprehend, but it works.
Yeah. Like, there's a reason everyone's ripping it off.
Yeah. The most recent Springsteen album I listened to is The Rising, which he did in 2002. Which is famously a year that came right after 2001. Yeah. And that whole album is about 9/11. Yeah. And I think I was listening to it.
Coming down.
No, like it's literally like I woke up this morning and there was a clear sky. Yeah. Like, bro, and it's corny, but like it's exactly like at the the day the towers fell, he tells a story. And this story is so like extra, but it really gets into like how what Springsteen values, because like he needed a walk when he saw it on the TV and he was like, I don't even know what the fuck is happening right now, like most of the world. Yeah. And he was in New York and he was like just walking around and some guys recognized him and they looked at him and they're like, Bruce, we need you, man. That's the story he tells, and it's kind of hilarious, but like in the moment I'm sure it was really endearing, right? They're like, we need you, and he's like, I'm gonna make some song, and like it's
and then
not
they
really
banned
sad.
I'm on Fire from being played on the radio.
Yeah. And the music is like really happy, it's really loud, but the content's really sad. Yeah, he did a great job. Good job, Bruce.
I also thought of a more legitimate answer. Podcast of the year, I don't like this podcast. Surely did not start this year. Yeah. Also at all, but it was in one that I was listening to. Actually, again, I don't even know. Yeah. I'm completely going back on my original take. But Conan's podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Oh, it's so good.
Is fantastic.
It's so good. That episode with Bro from SNL, I don't remember his name. The old writer on SNL that wrote Forever. And he did the Epstein bit. You know the bit. The Jeffrey Epstein bit where he pretends that he's really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh,
yeah. That's one of the funniest
I've seen clips. That clip, I think, 20 times.
It's always funny.
And it's always funny.
No, I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein, the New York financier.
So good. Ha! Nice try. So good. What I need to find the name of it so hard because it's so good. But yeah, no, Conan is somehow funnier than he's ever been, which is like weird because he's like a senior citizen now. but like,
well, he just he just gets
better.
to talk way for
the Mike
longer amounts
Birbiglia
of
one
time.
was good. Reggie Watts was good.
Two of the big ones I listened to were Steve Martin and Martin Shorts.
Yeah,
which is
one was
amazing.
so funny.
And I was thinking about that one. I actually just like I listened to most of it like months ago, and then the other day I realized I hadn't finished it, and so I listened to like the last 20 minutes or whatever. And I was just thinking about how those two guys are, I mean, just they're so funny. That's kind of my only take. They're insanely funny, and they're so good at making just regular ass things funny.
Absolutely.
And that's the sign of a truly funny person, is that they can just be like, oh, you're wearing shorts, and somehow everyone is fucking laughing.
Well, they talk about on the Mike Birbiglia episode, like this is a few months after Martin Short was on the show.
Yeah.
Mike and Conan are talking about Martin Short like he's the fucking boogeyman. Like they're scared to be around him, to like do anything, or they're gonna get picked on for like the smallest thing, and they'll get absolutely destroyed, and it's gonna kill because he's Martin Short. He's one of the funniest men alive.
Yeah, but he's not even saying. I mean, Martin Short specifically is he's trying to be a little bit more of a jerk from time to time.
Yes, but
they're not. They're not using the naughty words.
No.
They're not. They're just.
It's old fashioned, just like
but that's just
make fun of humor.
Yeah, and that's just so. But that's just so indicative of even their regular jokes of like who's actually funny.
Mm-hmm.
Would you see something funny over there?
Yeah, we are. I'll show you later.
All right.
We don't got a diss. It's just a tweet that's mean to Golden Globes host Joe Coy. I don't want to get
that
into
is funny.
anything more.
When you said that, I was gonna that Joe Coy hosted as we were talking about this before. I just thought about how Joe Coy is one of those people. He's like The National, the band The National, where everyone is like very famous, and I'm like, no. I've never met
Where's
a
the Joe Coy.
I can't even say his name.
Yeah.
I have never met a Joe Coy fan. Never met a National fan.
I know.
I'm sure that they're out there. And everyone's like, they're a great band, man. They're good. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
He just shows up, and I'm like, how do you have money?
Yeah.
Anyway.
My take that's similar to that I think I will get fucked up for is I think everybody pretends to like, in Canada, pretends to like Tragically Hip more than they actually do, because they think it's what you have to do as a Canadian, and no one really reps it to the degree they're putting on.
I love the Tragically Hip,
but like the station,
and a lot of people do.
Radio stations in Canada who you think would be like pushing on this agenda don't.
Yeah,
they don't. I don't get it. I wasn't really. I heard more people. I spent more time in my life hearing people talk about the Tragically Hip than actually hearing the Tragically Hip.
Yeah,
and I stand by that.
Listen to them. Listen to their stuff. They're good. They're good.
I've heard some songs.
They're weird. Sure. I saw them play. I saw their concert one time.
Haven't we all?
They're fun because
haven't we all?
They're like, I don't know. They seem to embody a lot of Canadian stereotypes, but then also not at all. Like they've somehow picked the best ones.
Yeah.
All the best really corny things about Canada.
That's lovely. It's charming.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
They're great, but I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Especially now, because they're not really around anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they are. I don't know. Gordani died. It was sad.
Yes, he famously.
That
reminded me. I think last year I did a live streamer of the year. I don't know who I gave it to. Maybe Northern Lion. Maybe Germa. Probably Germa.
Probably. That makes sense.
So this year I'll just give it to Northern Lion because I watch him like every day, and he's like Canadian Germa, and like I love to hear a guy be from Vancouver and have opinions on like the most banal things, like how is there a Costco downtown? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
That is weird that they did that.
But also like I watch Super TF a lot. I think he was my number one watch streamer. He's very funny, and his whole chat hates him. And
does anyone
I've
have a
never
chat
seen
that likes him?
I've never seen a more hostile fan base than to Super TF. It's even his own friends. He'll get on like in a game with other streamers, and one of his like closest friends, streamer friends, named Daphne, she will lay out 10 death threats to him a night just for a laugh. and that'll get put in a compilation, and people will go, hey, like the YouTube commenters aren't in on the joke, so they'll be like, hey, Daphne's like a really bad friend, like this is kind of toxic, can we check in on Super? And then the Twitch fans are like, this is hilarious, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So it's a really healthy thing they got going on.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Being online content is a great career and good for your mental health.
Yeah. Well, but do we want to get into the actual like good awards?
Yeah, we can do our actual good awards.
Yeah, it's been 25 minutes. We can crack open. What do we start with? I guess the silly ones, and then we end with the big lists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, yeah. What do you want to start with?
Bozo of the year.
Bozo of the year.
Just get the bozo out of the way.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Bozo of the year. I before we were talking about it, and I was like, my Bozo of the year, I was like, oh my god, that happened this year. But I thought it was kind of a lame take. Okay. So originally I was just going to be like, oh, it was Andrew Tate. That was big Bozo. But that, basic normie take. My other, I'm now going to put him third.
Wow,
on my
you have
personal,
a couple Bozos.
Well, no, he's probably a greater Bozo.
Yeah.
Above Andrew Tate is Pierce Morgan.
Okay.
Because giant Bozo. For continually inviting on people who are correct
on the show
about Israel Palestine, and then letting them own him and not recognizing that. And you know who also owned Pierce Morgan about Israel Palestine this year? Andrew Tate. And it was really funny.
That's wild.
He's on the right side of that debate.
I feel like when I only saw the Hassan one, but like they weren't really disagreeing with each other that much. Pierce was like, yeah, kind of like, okay, yeah, I hear you there. Like,
yeah,
he nitpicked sometimes, and Hassan was like, you're a fucking idiot. But like, it seems like Pierce is a little more, I should say, a little less Zionist than his conservative colleagues.
No, that's true. He's not. I just think,
not to give that guy props, he was like the worst America's Got Talent judge, and he didn't really last many seasons. But
he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He hides all of his kind of Zionist takes behind this veil of like doing journalism and stuff, and it's really it's really annoying.
He's like, I'm just asking questions. He's like unbiased all the fucking time, and like, you're not, buddy.
No, he's definitely not, and he is definitely not. I guess that makes him better than the people who are openly extremely Zionist, because he's like, I'm not. I don't know. He falls somewhere in the middle of that debate, but it still was just funny because he kept having people come on, which is good, I guess, that he was welcoming lots of alternative points of view. But it was just hilarious because I feel like every time I saw a clip, it was just him getting destroyed.
Yeah. I think Hassan kind of made that point when he was on, because like the first thing he said was like, yeah, I'm a propagandist. Like, I have my own biased views, and they affect me because I'm a human being, and we all do this. Mm-hmm. And like Pierce just like was like, okay, so you're a propagandist, moving on. Like, but I don't think he really understood that like his whole preaching of being like, I see the facts for what they are, is just childish.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
not what politics is.
That's a really old head journalism take entirely.
Yeah. That's your And then you
have and then number one, my number one was going to be Jonah Hill, which I'm fairly sure that happened this year.
That's good.
That was the one I thought of while we were doing that.
Yeah.
Because that was...
What a loser.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just such... Oh, God.
Huge loser.
Set men going to therapy back so far.
Yes.
The damage that he is doing is ridiculous. No, that whole thing was just so embarrassing.
Yes.
Just so embarrassing. And then he made You People, which was a really bad movie. I'll throw this out there. That was my least favorite movie of the year. It's at the bottom of my Letterboxd.
I don't think I had a least favorite movie of the year.
Well, this is just the one that was when I did my ranked list of all the movies I watched. It was at the bottom. And it was very clearly at the bottom.
Right.
It was terrible. And it's such a bummer because I liked that guy.
Yeah.
You know? And even he famously was like one of the first like really big, mainstreamly famous like throwing fits guests.
Yeah.
And this line that he says has echoed in my mind since
He got canceled.
Since all that shit happened, and he was like, "Hey, misogyny's out." He says that in the podcast.
Oh, no.
And now I just think, and then all this happened, and I was like, "Oh, Jonah,
that's so
buddy,
funny.
you're so lost, you're so confused."
Yeah. My bozo of the year, and I do think this is objective because at no point of the year was bozo said more to a person than when Henry Kissinger died. Okay? It was maybe the best day
it was a good
of
day.
the year for me.
Yeah.
That shit rocked.
Yeah.
And Twitter was so fun for a day again. We almost forgot how shit the app was for one day. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Every once in a while something like that happens.
So universally hated. It was wonderful.
Yeah. It's the same as like, I mean, I'm not on Twitter as nearly as much as you are, but it was just like, I remember when that, you remember when that guy hit that other guy at the Oscars? You remember that?
Yes.
When Chris Rock,
that was
Will
a fun
Smith
day.
hit.
That was
yeah,
a
that was
fun
great.
Day.
Thank God, thank you, Will Smith. I thought it was hilarious because for one day nobody was talking about anything.
Yeah.
Other than that, we were all unified in our surprise, our shock and awe.
Yeah.
At how insane that was. That was like Henry Kissinger dying.
That birthed, I think, my favorite tweet ever, which was like, where is it? Zach Fox was like, y'all finna have so many bad takes on this shit, and the only take is that Hancock slapped Donkey. And then somebody quote tweeted that and said Donkey was Eddie Murphy because I'm laughing even harder. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect exchange.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It was so good. Take me back.
It was really good.
Take me back. Anyway.
So that's our bozos.
Those are our bozos. Jonah Hill and Henry Kissinger.
I love it. Good.
Collect your awards.
Good roster there.
Pieces.
Do we want to do
this year?
Rookie of the year?
Yeah, Rookie of the Year is next on my list.
Okay.
Actually, Comeback Player of the Year was next.
We can do that.
We can do that. Mine, I don't have that much to say about mine, but my Comeback Player of the Year was Andre 3000.
Mine is too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, that's the only reasonable answer.
Yeah, I put Hayao Miyazaki too, and then Christopher Nolan, but I think Andre just takes the cake because he was gone for so long.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
Yeah.
Good for him. Collect
for
your
yeah.
Mina in the mail.
Exactly. He made a great little ambient record.
Yeah.
Taught a lot of people about what ambient music is.
About flutes.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year.
I had a couple floating around.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I think today that I was like, oh, obviously this is mine. I was thinking Jacob Elordi, but he's not really a rookie.
No.
Right? Because like he's been around. We know who he is. Same with
this was his breakout year. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I have Rachel Sennett.
Yeah, that was also kind of a breakout year. I thought about her as well.
And then I was thinking Iowa Debris, but I think she's literally like the MVP of the year. Like nobody put up the numbers she did.
She's crazy.
She just won a Golden Globe tonight.
She's Into the Spider-Verse too at some point. Isn't that nuts? That was a
crazy.
huge movie.
And she was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah, that one too.
Animated
yeah, and The Bear.
And The Bear and Bottoms and Theater Camp.
Yeah.
But my Rookie of the Year is Iñaki Godoy, who plays Luffy in the live-action One Piece.
Okay.
Now, I watched maybe 3 episodes of the live-action One Piece, and I watched it while I was like playing Elden Ring. Like I didn't care because I know the story.
Yeah.
I caught up on One Piece this year. I know it very well. I own every fucking book. Okay.
That's all of them?
Up to now, yeah.
Are you worried about that one falling off your shelf?
No, there's little supports, and they go over.
Okay.
You can go and examine closer.
Okay, gotcha.
I think I need a couple more books before I got to start worrying about the structural integrity of the piece.
Okay.
But okay, I didn't really like the show because I already saw it. I didn't really need to see it again.
Yeah.
But that kid is fucking Luffy. Like that kid is him. They just found him. Like he met Oda. Oda is the writer of One Piece.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen Oda's face since 2004. Okay, like manga authors are usually pretty secretive about their own lives so that they don't get murdered.
Yeah.
Kind of. But he met Oda, and Oda just like started laughing. He's like, "This is you. You did it. You're the character. You win." And the kid's like 17.
Wow.
I know.
Good for him.
It's fantastic. I've seen every interview, every press thing of this kid. He's going places, and the places he's going is the Grand Line. He's gonna be king of the pirates. Okay. So happy for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all I have.
That's great. I didn't watch. I haven't watched much One Piece, as you know.
Yeah.
But is the live action one that good? No.
I don't think it's that good. I
just find it impossible to watch any anime that's been converted to live action.
My take is that if you don't already love One Piece, there's not much reason to watch this show.
Sure.
I also think if you want to get into One Piece, read it because the pacing's dog shit. Or wait till later this year. They're going to do a reanimation from the start.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And that is going to fix pacing issues.
That I might actually watch.
And they're going to change... thing I saw today is they're changing the voice actors because all the voice actors are like 54 and older. One of them's 77 years old because they've been voicing these characters for decades, you know? And they never switched up. So the new series is going to have new voice actors. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, it's a good time for One Piece. It's very exciting. Anyway, what's your ROTY?
My ROTY, my runner up. This was my original one, and then I thought of a better one. Was Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a running back for the Detroit Lions and literal rookie this year in the National Football League, because he was on my fantasy team, and he was a high pick. He had high hopes, and he wasn't playing good at the beginning of the season, but then he started to play really good, and then I started to play him, and he won me some games, and I'm super proud of him.
Yeah.
And I hope the Lions do good. But my winner for Rookie of the Year is Molly Gordon.
Yeah, I love Molly Gordon, dude.
Yeah.
She had an amazing year. I'm in love with her.
Yeah. It's not
fucking The Bear, Theater Camp.
Yeah, she's in the Rachel Sennott.
I saw Shiva Baby this year, so that counts.
Universe. Yeah,
and
she's in Molly. Yeah, and she's in Shiva Baby.
She's so funny. That's a great pick.
Funny enough, that's the same reason Shiva Baby was why I think I disqualified in my mind Rachel Sennott from being Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
But Molly Gordon had a bigger... This was her real debut.
Yes, this was her year for sure.
Yeah.
And she co-directed
Theater Camp. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's huge. Should make more stuff.
Since you mentioned an actual sports rookie, I think we should shout out Victor Wembanyama. Chet Holmgren for being better than Wembanyama, kind of, which is kind of fucked up, and also being named Chet. And like, as soon as I heard 3 years ago that Chet Holmgren was like the best high school player or whatever, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if the best basketball player was a dude that looks like Chad Leachman and his name is Chet?
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing that could ever happen. And he is doing really well.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out 2 rookies that aren't doing well, but I love them. One being Grady Dick, who is in a Gillette ad that I have to watch every time I put on the TV for NBA games. He's not on the Raptors, by the way. He's in the G League right now for the Raptors. He's not playing Raptors games, and he's on the fucking the Gillette ad. Who they have like, I think it's like some other Raptors player. Gary
Trent Jr.
I think it's him. He's also in that Gillette ad, but the edits they usually do just cut him out of it. Like, it's just the Grady Dick part.
No, I've only seen
that's the Grady Dick effect. But also
Number 1,
Bryce Sensabaugh, who has played 1 game in the league so far, and then they put him straight down into like the Utah Jazz G League. But I love him so much, and I need him to succeed because it was either Jokic Joestar or Pablo Escobar, my 2 favorite TikTokers for NBA, who nicknamed him Ice Bryce. And I think if Ice Bryce can pop off, then I'll be so happy in life. That's just the coolest nickname you could possibly have. I'll also shout out, because I mentioned those 2, they have a podcast called State of the League, and that could be a contender for Podcast of the Year.
Yeah.
It's like this show. If you like only Sports Corner on this show and wish it was an hour and a half to 3 hours, and sometimes they have like really obscure media journalists or like basketball players on, then check that out. It's great stuff, and they know ball. They're professional ball knowers.
I bet they do. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good kids.
That's our rookies.
That's our rookies.
What else do we have? Show of the year? Is that next?
Show of the year. I have stand up and then show of the year.
Oh, stand up. I didn't write that down. What's yours?
I think it's Baby J.
Okay.
It's John Mulaney.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's good.
It's good.
I really liked it.
Great.
I have thought a lot about making it Mike Birbiglia's. That was also up there. That's my second favorite. Yeah. It's a really good one. My only knock against the Mike Birbiglia one was I watched it with Kat, and then after that, pretty much that same day, we went to watch the new one, and we didn't watch the whole thing, but I was watching it and I was just kind of like, these are very similar.
Well, yeah. He basically does theater in front of a stage. Like it's his bit, but it's very unique to him. You know? Like no one else can do what he does.
I'm not, and it's great. So I'm really not complaining. Yeah. I love it. And that is only by virtue of the fact that I watched them in like the same evening. Yeah. You know, years apart, that was not an issue. So but also, I did just love Baby J, and I had so much anticipation.
Yeah, that's fair.
To hear John
and
Mulaney
it's definitely
talk
a left
about,
turn for him. Like, very different tone for him.
Hearing him talk about being on coke, and it just always makes me think of in Crashing. He has one line where Pete Davidson's gonna like go out. Not Pete Davidson. Pete Holmes is gonna go open for him.
Yeah.
At one of his shows, and he was like, "Are you clean, or are you?" What does he ask him? He was like, "Are you dirty?" And he was like, "No, I'm not." And he was like, "Damn it, you have to be dirty. You have to be dirty because then people think that I'm clean. People think I am, but I'm not. I say words like fuck and dick and stuff." And it's hilarious. And that's why I think that's also why I thought Baby J was great, because I was just like, it's all that stuff was always there, but it was foreshadowed.
No.
It felt like a complete arc.
Crashing doesn't get enough props. It was a great fucking show.
No, it's hilarious. So funny.
That's how I found out about like Jabuki.
Yeah.
You know, he just was in one episode. Yeah. That dude's funny as fuck.
It's just really fun if you just know a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
As well.
Absolutely.
You kind of need that. There's kind of prerequisite.
Yeah.
To care about Crashing.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's mine.
That's yours. Mine's Mike Birbiglia, because it was so good. The Old Man in the Pool.
Yeah.
But also I want to shout out Chris Fleming's special. I think it's called Hell, and it's pretty hard to find, but it's really fucking funny, and that dude is very talented.
Yeah. My other honorable mention.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have to, before I forget, is Joe Pera's Slow and Steady.
I was trying to remember which other one I was thinking of. That one's phenomenal.
It's so good, dude.
I think that has my favorite joke of the entire year.
Which joke was it?
Which was I would butcher it, but it is.
Well, yeah, no one can do.
It's basically something along the lines of, when I open the fridge and I notice that there's the ice cube tray is empty, I make sure to put water in the ice cube tray. So come the next morning, my roommates will open up the freezer and there will be cubes for my boys. And then he just sits there and then he goes, "Cubes for my boys." And that's the whole joke. I love it so much. It's not a joke.
Dude, did you watch his interview with Fantano?
I think I saw some of it.
I was watching it the other night because I was like, this is great to have on just while I'm playing video games.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. My biggest takeaway also was he's just like that.
Yes.
Like, he's turning the knob like a tiny bit.
Yes.
He's going from like a 7 to an 8.
Yes.
For his performance of like how he behaves.
That's just how he is.
It's amazing.
He's a unicorn.
And then he talks about going to in the interview, he's like, yeah, I went to like a lightning bolt show with some of my friends, which is basically just like insane noise band, and I listened to one lightning bolt song after because I'd never heard about it, and I was like, I can't do this right
so
now.
Funny.
This is ridiculous. He's like, I loved it because my whole body was just like vibrating. It was awesome. And Fantano was just like, laughing. He's like, "You're no offense, but you're the last person in the world I would expect to be at a lightning bolt show."
Yeah. His Instagram's so good too, because it's only tomatoes. He just posts tomatoes all the time. Like, even if there's like a tour announcement, the next slide will be like a tomato.
That's
of
amazing.
some form. It's incredible.
Yeah, he also. My other takeaway from that interview was that he has a show that was on Adult Swim that got canceled that I really want to go watch. And if anything, I just want to watch the one scene they talked about in the interview where Joe Pera's character hears Baba O'Reilly by The Who for the first time, and he gets really excited and runs around.
That's great. That sounds fantastic. I've seen clips of it on TikTok, like him in the grocery store. It's very funny.
I have not, but I would like to watch it.
But I think we should fund anything he's a part of. Okay.
Absolutely.
Shows?
My show is Succession.
My show is Succession. Do you have other ones that
The
you
Bear.
feel bad for? Yeah, The Bear.
The Bear.
I also...
If it wasn't Succession season 4, if it wasn't the last season of Succession,
Yeah.
then this season, I think this season of The Bear, if I was watching them in real time, could have beat out any other season of Succession.
Yes.
But it being the final season, I was like, there's no way, because it had a perfect ending.
You need to realize how fucking crazy that is, because like Succession is one of the best shows I've ever witnessed in my... I think it's my favorite show ever.
Yeah, no, me too.
And I full-heartedly agree with that statement.
Yeah.
That this season of The Bear would have beat any other season of Succession.
Yeah.
And this season of Succession was perfect.
Yeah. And other seasons of Succession are good too. It would have beat them even just by virtue of me being like, we're going to have more. So I don't feel bad.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
But...
I think that's why... no, they didn't even have to deal with it at the Golden Globes because they split them up.
Yeah.
And then they both swept.
Yeah.
So
because they're both...
That kind of shows you how fucking good they are.
No,
Please go watch Succession and The Bear. They're perfect pieces of media.
And also shout out to Barry season.
Yes, Barry was fantastic. I wanted to shout out.
It's honestly a bummer, but like Bill Hader is acting his ass off in some of those episodes of Barry.
No, especially this
like,
season. It was the most dramatic season. He absolutely killed it.
And he was frightening.
Yeah.
I was at home. I was watching a fictional TV show, and I was scared of Bill Hader.
Yeah.
And it was just insane. Also had pretty much a perfect ending.
Yes.
It was
really good.
Yeah.
And like it's scary how he can still make it funny. Just out of nowhere. The Fred Armisen cameo, that shit was so good. Perfect television.
No, it's awesome.
I love awesome. Where TV is right now, just from those 3 shows.
No, it's so good. Of those 3, like, I don't know. I'm almost more excited that like that Barry is over, because now I get to watch whatever else Bill Hader makes.
Yes, I agree. Same with the Succession cast. Like, they're all gonna be fucking movie stars if they want to. They can do anything. Like, they'll get cast in fucking anything.
Yeah,
it's a killer cast.
100%. No, they're all monsters.
Speaking of monster, I want to shout out the show Pluto, which was a 8-episode anime series written by the author of my favorite anime of all time, Monster.
Right.
And I watched it all. I binged it all, and then I bought all of Pluto, and it's up there on that shelf. Beautiful. It is an adaptation of one chapter of the Astro Boy manga from the 1950s. And
that's hilarious.
He was like supervised by the author of Astro Boy's son, who was like, he's like a director. He's like, yeah, this is good. Put it out. Because Urasawa was great and everyone loves him, and they let him do that. It's really good animation. It's very like, if I could compare it to like any movie, it'd be like Blade Runner 2049. Okay. It deals with very similar themes. It's very cool. And then I have...
I'd watch that. It's how long is it?
It's 8 one-hour episodes.
I can watch that.
Yeah, you can.
I can watch that.
They're really good.
I love a short anime.
And then a bit of a longer anime, One Piece. I just wanted to shout out. Okay, it would never be my favorite show of the year, because like there were a lot of episodes where you're like, let's get on with it. But there was like the craziest fight that's ever happened this year. It's a transition into like the new era. It's a very exciting time for One Piece, and the animation was incredible. And then also Jujutsu Kaisen, which is like I think most people would agree was the best anime of the year, season 2, and it's the manga is apparently going to end this year. It's like it's the cool anime to be. Attack on Titan ended this year, and now we're like the cool anime everyone watches is Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's very dope and sick.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's all I have for shows.
Good to know. That's all I have for shows. Oh, my only other one I thought about shitting out was Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Ah, yes.
The animated Scott
Hadn't
Pilgrim
seen
series.
it yet, but I've heard
it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's not the best thing in the world, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And it is. I don't think I liked it at first because I wasn't paying that much attention, but I just thought it was gonna be. I just thought it was an adaptation of the comic. Yeah, they changed it up a lot.
That's cool.
It's like a completely new thing, which I had no idea it was going to be, and I don't think anyone knew.
Keeps it interesting,
and, yeah, it does, and it was great.
That's awesome.
And it was great. It's fun.
Sweet.
All right.
Okay, do we just have the big lists now?
I think so.
Holy shit.
Let's do movies, but before
I agree.
Before I'll hit you with, I like to do what's like one of your favorite movies that you watched this year that's not from this year?
Ooh, I'd love to do that. Let me go through Letterboxd because I did give out some 5 stars this year that weren't from this year, and I was pissed that I couldn't talk about them.
Yeah, that's always fun. I can go while you're looking.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was a movie called Sorcerer.
Okay.
Which is made by William Friedkin, who made The Exorcist and The French Connection, another very famous movie. Yeah. So, and it's like, I guess back in the 70s or something. It is the guy from Jaws in it and some other guys. And what the movie is about, it's an adaptation of like another movie from like the 40s or something.
Yeah.
Called The Wages of Fear. And the movie is about these 4 dudes. I think there's 4 of them, who all end up because they have to run away from their lives in different corners of the world, and they all end up somewhere in South America together. And to earn money, they end up being asked to drive these trucks loaded with nitroglycerin to like a mine site. And the whole deal is that if they hit a bump wrong, their truck will explode.
Right.
And the whole a lot of the movie is just them driving around. Some of the most tense sequences ever. Like there's a scene where like one of the trucks has to cross like a creaky old like suspension bridge thing in a giant storm, and you're freaking out and like white knuckling the thing the whole time. It's crazy. It was just a nuts movie.
That's awesome.
And super cool.
I just looked at every 5-star I gave this year. Most of them are rewatches.
Right.
Parasite, Akira, Stop Making Sense, Eternal Sunshine. But I did see Interstellar. And it's like I watched Interstellar when it came out, and I left halfway through because I was 14 and bored. Damn. But that movie's incredible. 12 Angry Men. These are pretty basic. Prisoners. And then for like
it's okay.
4.5, I have like Shiva Baby, Memories of Murder. Some great fucking films.
Yeah. My other big one was going to be Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
Which I forgot I saw for the first time this year, which was awesome.
There's a moment in You Spring and Springsteen on My Bean where Adam Scott Scott Aukerman tells Adam Scott, he's like, oh yeah, he was in Phantom of the Paradise, and Adam Scott goes, what is that? And he's like, oh, this movie with this guy and this guy. He's like, how have I never fucking heard of this?
Yeah.
He was like, I need to watch this right now.
Yeah.
And he does. He's right.
It's awesome. It's an awesome movie.
I feel like I watched a movie right after Phantom of the Paradise where I was like, this movie is just kind of like Phantom of the Paradise. And I couldn't unsee, like after I saw Phantom of the Paradise, I couldn't unsee other things being it. It was just, this is my reality now.
Yeah.
Where was it? I forgot we watched Big Night.
Yeah, we did.
That was a fun one.
We did.
We saw a lot of movies this year.
Yeah, we did. So many.
Where the fuck is... Okay, yeah. Oh, No, my review for Phantom of the Paradise was Swan versus Tom Hanks and Elvis. Both are naked and covered in oil. Who's winning the twerk off? Because they're very similar movies. But then, then I saw The Cook, the Thief, his wife, and her lover, and I said, this is part of the POTPCU, Phantom of the Paradise Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is about people wanting to make movies about like just very abusive people in power of like a fucking imaginary land. Like it's so they're almost surrealist, you know, and like hypersexual. But it was great.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Phantom of the Paradise is that it, stars Paul Williams, who plays Swan.
Yeah, he fucking rocks.
He does. And I heard about this movie because people were like, this is Daft Punk's favorite movie.
Yes.
And they've watched it many times, and it's one of their biggest inspirations. And I was like, I got to see that because I love Daft Punk. And sure Paul Williams is on the last Daft Punk album. He's on Random Access Memories. He's a feature. And I love that full circle moment exists in history, that they saw that and were like, this guy fucking rocks. And then years later, like, he's on stage with them when they accept, like, album of the year at the Grammys.
That's so cool.
And isn't that amazing?
Yes, he's the third member of Daft Punk.
Yeah, he's so sweet. Anyway, that's it. Okay, now we can do our movie list now. Movies. Okay. Movies of the year. Top 15 movies of the year?
Yeah, you have 20, right?
No, I'll do 15. I can do 15.
Well, you could just rat off.
I can do 20. Like... Well, the bottom 5 aren't really.
Okay.
I mean, if we're going from 20.
I have 16. Do you want to say your 16th?
Sure. Okay. I'll do that. What's your My 16th was Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, I did not see that film.
It's fun. It's a fun Evil Dead. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I don't have that much to say about it. It's an Evil Dead movie, and it's good. And unlike the other Evil Dead movies where the things that summons a book, or summons the demons is a book, it's a vinyl record. And this kid plays it, and then there's a weird speech, and then his mom gets possessed, and then there's a whole bunch of blood and gore and guts and stuff.
Fantastic. I think that's all you need from an Evil Dead movie. Like, you're not expecting
that's all. More. That's all you want.
That's great. My 16th was The Killer.
Okay.
Fucking, what's his name?
That's fair. Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
And David Fincher.
David Fincher.
That's kind of
director.
Okay.
The Smiths was featured
prominently. The Smiths is featured prominently.
It was good. I don't know. I like a movie that tells you acts while you're going through. It's like, here's the next act of the movie. You're like, ooh, it's kind of like a play or a book. It was fun. It was tense.
Yeah.
But it was still like weirdly lighthearted at points where you're like, this is a little goofy.
Yeah.
You know? But it was fun.
I really liked the ending of that movie. Yeah. And I think it has one of like the best fight sequences I've seen in a movie in a really long time.
Miami
in
one?
It.
Like
when he goes to the guy's house.
That was
gas.
I was
insane.
Glued to the screen.
Yeah, it was very locked in. It was so sick, and the whole movie's just so slow and like monotonous, and then it explodes in this one scene, and it's fucking awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, I don't have much to say more about that.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, then 15 for me, I put the Iron Claw.
I did too.
No way.
Let's go.
Good movie. Sad.
Yes.
Kind of like. I think that movie for me, like, it's good, but it kind of just, all the things that I like the most about it are just the story that I was seeing, and less anything really to do with the movie. Yeah. Like, it kind of lacks a really big thing, or like one really big performance. And like Zac Efron, everyone in it is good. They're all good, but there's not like one scene in the movie where I was like,
it kind of feels like the big trick of that movie is just like slowly breaking away at your mental fortitude. Yeah. It's like, it just, you will break as a person. Yeah. We're just going to give you more tragedy. And also, probably the first biopic to ever alter the facts so that it's less sad than reality, so that it's more believable. Yeah. Because they could have made it way sadder. Yeah. And they didn't. So thanks for sparing us a little bit.
For sure.
But it's still absolutely devastating. Last night, from the hours of like 12:30 to 2:30, I watched Saltburn. and it's not on my list, and I know it's not on yours.
No, it's not.
But I felt like I did not have to see that right after seeing the Iron Claw, and I'm not going to say why because it kind of spoils both movies. But like, I think you could understand. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They really pull at your heartstrings in similar ways.
Saltburn, I was just like, this is just
I think we should rant about Saltburn later.
Sure.
Because it's not on our list, and also all I have to say is about spoilers about the movie.
All right. We don't have to spoil.
We can do that off the pod.
Sure.
But anyways.
Yeah, I don't think the Iron Claw would hold up that well rewatching it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Because I would just be like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but good performances, like good cast.
Yeah, no, great.
Yeah.
They were all great.
For sure.
Zac Efron did fantastic.
And
it was kind of like
that
one other movie he was in a little bit, you know?
Who?
Zac Efron. That movie?
High School Musical 2?
Yeah. High School Musical 2.
Singing into the reflection?
Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah. Just while we're here, and Saltburn's still on my mind.
Okay.
Shout out Rosamund Pike and Richard E. Grant for just being incredible actors.
Yeah.
And I looked at them, like, as soon as I found out they were Jacob Elordi's parents, I went, they would produce him. Yeah. They could create him.
Yeah.
If they fucked.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
They'd have to have some relatives with, like, real big boy genes.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I mean, that
could happen.
Some NBA players, their parents are small. You never know.
True.
But yeah.
All right. 14. I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Okay, I did not see that film.
I liked it. I don't have that much to say about it. It was fun.
Just a good Marvel flick.
Yeah, an above average one. Oh, wow. Like a good movie. And I
guess we've been in a little bit of a drought for MCU. That's good.
And it like really isn't. There's like a little bit here and there, but it's not about a bunch of future movies. It's a really good conclusion to the story of all the characters who have been in all three of those movies, and I really appreciated that. And I hadn't gone to like a Marvel movie in a really long time, and haven't since. But it was just fun. It was good to see that, you know, they made it the end, and they cared, and they gave a shit. That's great. Yeah.
And there's going to be no more of those. That's the last one.
I'm sure some of the characters will come back. Okay. Of course, they always do. I think Chris Pratt is set to return, but I think a lot of the characters are supposedly done. But also Marvel just seems like they're falling apart at the seams. They have no idea what's left from right anymore.
I think they should put all their money into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they got too big to fail. They're not even involved. I mean, the Disney Marvel isn't.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what to do with the cinematic universe. I think just scrap it. I think you had a good run.
I think you could. I think you could keep doing it. I'm sure there's tons.
They have to recast Jonathan Majors. You see that? They're trying to recast him for because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, which is just another way that I think they just need to take a break.
Yeah,
come back to it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
is that there's no. This is the problem with every big franchise.
Yeah,
is that like. If there's no direction, this is what happened with all the Star Wars recent Star Wars movies and why they were bad. It's because there was no vision. Yes. There was no like we're going here, and that's why the first few Marvel movies worked and they weren't all good.
Yes.
But the first 10 years they were like it's all built into this one thing, and now it's very clear that they have no idea what that one thing is.
Yeah.
The thing now is let's make as much stuff as possible and make it not good and not pay our people enough.
When there's one of the CJ the X videos, he's talking about cinematic universes and how like MCU invented that, and then how every other franchise wanted to make cinematic universes.
Yeah,
and he's like, what they don't understand is what you have to do is make a couple just decent movies over an extended period of time, and then team up a movie.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
No,
and then like he's like, what did DC do? They made the Superman movie, and then boom, Batman v Superman, and then boom, Suicide Squad. It's like, slow the fuck down.
Yeah.
We need to make standalone. You haven't even made a Batman movie yet.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? You know?
No.
And like, MCU aren't even learning their own lesson, even though they did that. You know?
Yeah, I know. It's
crazy. They just can't make standalones anymore.
And it's also probably just a byproduct of like, the fact that they got their studio got bought by Disney and stuff, and they're like, we just gotta make we make money.
Of course,
This
of
is
course.
Disney. We used to make movies. Now we make money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So true.
it's your 14.
While you were talking, I added a new movie to my best movies list.
Okay.
So now everything's offset. So, and I'm talking the second member of
Okay.
Amigos. So now The Killer was 17, 16 to Iron Claw. 15, which I was just going to talk about, but now I got to do 2 movies back to back,
Okay.
is Beau is Afraid.
15's Beau is Afraid.
I'm a Beau is Afraid enjoyer.
All right.
I liked that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it challenges the viewer to take it seriously, and then the viewer is forced to give up. And I think that's funny. And you know when they're forced to give up.
That's a really interesting take on
Thank
that
you.
movie.
Thank you.
That's you're so right. Like I can't even argue with it. But
No,
what
you
a,
can't.
like,
and you know the scene
you
where
view
I
that
was
as a
like, "That's
positive
it.
spin. Yeah.
I have had it."
After they go into the attic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
like, I just thought it was really engaging. It doesn't sit on anything for too long. It's tense. It's cool. It's fucking, I don't know, good performances. I don't have much more to say about that.
Yeah.
Are we on 14? Did you say 14 for yours?
Yeah. Before you do that though,
Yeah.
my one complaint about Beau is Afraid,
Yeah.
or my big complaint, is that, or big disappointment, is that the first like hour of that movie is so good.
Yes.
And I really liked it, and it's so tight, and I feel like they pay attention to like every little detail of everything, like in his apartment, things on the news,
agree.
things outside, all that stuff, and they do this like really cool universe building.
Yeah.
And then I just found that like all falls apart
fucks off to nowhere.
after the first hour, and that's
I
such a
agree.
bummer.
I agree. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
But he needed to go on a fun little journey, you know?
Yeah, he did. I guess he did.
But I do agree. There could have been more done in that department.
Yeah.
Okay, 14. I have Past Lives.
Yeah. Okay.
Good film.
Good film.
Good film with
Tugs at
such
the
a simple
heartstrings.
plot.
Yeah.
You could write that plot on a fucking napkin.
Yeah.
How is it so engaging?
Yeah.
It's literally just 3 people.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
don't know. Those simple
I'm
things are
talking
good.
Beauty and the Beast, you know? It's just girl, guy crush from her childhood, guy from The Big Short who she is now married to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's going on. Why am I sad?
Yeah. Because it's just...
There's no
you know,
action. It's just these
no.
fuckers talking. What's her name? Greta
Greta
Lee?
Lee, I think.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, it's Greta Lee. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's fantastic.
She's awesome.
I had Nate's brother was over for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's a filmmaker. He makes documentaries.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
And I mentioned that we saw Past Lives recently, and he went, "What do you think about that?" And I was like, "I liked it." And he's like, "Well, I know like the cinematographer on that movie, and I thought it was mid." And I'm like, "Why'd you bring that up?" Like, come on, man.
I can see...
It's your own friend's movie.
I can see people like thinking that. Because it's really basic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just so... It's on my list. It's higher up. It's just so intimate and
Yeah.
quiet and nice. And yeah, so simple.
Yeah.
Because you can just find it really relatable. That's why it is.
Absolutely.
Is you're like, oh, this movie gets it.
Yeah,
you know?
it's such a base human.
Yeah.
You can't help but empathize.
Yeah,
with
I've felt these feelings
Yes,
that she feels,
exactly,
and
exactly.
it sucks.
Yeah. Oh, I fucked up my mic. Okay. Okay. 13. Are we on?
Yeah, I'm on 13.
Hit your 13.
My 13's The Killer, which we've already
Okay,
talked about.
yes, we
and I
have.
said my favorite things
You
about it.
did.
Yeah, so I don't have too much else to say about it.
Okay. My 13 is a wonderful Canadian production, Blackberry.
Yeah.
Fantastic film.
Yeah.
With fucking bro from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Why can't I remember his name right now?
Glenn
Glenn Howerton.
Howerton, and then there's
Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel.
Yeah.
And then the guy who plays fucking Garth. What's not even Garth. What's his name? Gus.
Gus. Matt Johnson.
Is
or
it
no.
Gus? What?
No, Doug.
Doug. Thank you.
Doug is Matt Johnson.
That dude is hilarious.
Yeah, he's the director.
Is he really?
Did you know that?
That's
he directed
awesome.
the movie.
That's a fantastic movie.
And he dresses like that in like all the interviews about that movie. That's awesome. Yeah, great piece of Canadian.
So good. Sometimes the Canadians are, they're doing good stuff.
Yeah.
It's rare.
It's sick.
But they did it.
They are.
They struck gold.
He talks a lot about Matt Johnson, just about like what he thinks it's good to just tell stories about Canadian things. Yeah. And he's made like a couple other movies. He's, small filmmaker, but I don't know. I just think that's cool. And I think if I were to ever make a biopic, it would be about Dave Steeb. That's what I've decided.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and I would hire the Secret Base guys.
John Boyes would have to be.
I would be like, come be my consultant on the movie.
Can I say what my 12th is before you do then?
Yeah, sure.
My 12th movie, which I just added.
Okay.
20 minutes ago, is The History of the Minnesota Vikings by John Boyes. Okay?
It counts.
That man is a visionary.
It counts.
It is the highest rated documentary of the year on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Okay? He's a filmmaker. Okay? He's fucking fantastic. Every single video he's ever posted, I worship. He is the only sports writer I ever need.
Yeah.
He's never missed. We need to put more money into these productions.
They're the best.
Because have you seen that, like, in the NFL this year, they, like, scoregami is just, like, adopted into the lingo?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows what that means now.
Yeah. It's always funny.
He came up with that just on a whim, like, 4 years ago.
Yeah. It's always funny to see the different coaches react, because some of them don't care. And, like, Pete Carroll, who coaches the Seahawks, they'll be like, Pete, did you get a scoregami today? And he'll be excited about it. He'll be like, oh, we got another one.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Scoregami merchant.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. But what a tale. Yeah. John Boyes just keeps getting better. Anytime, like, when the trailer for that documentary came out, I'm like, shit, I guess I'm going to be a Vikings fan. Yeah. Like, I just accept that reality. Yeah. I'm already a Falcons fan from that one.
Yeah.
It's
tough because they only do bad teams.
Yeah, it's true. But, like, you got to... I suffered today. I watched the Falcons lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is part of the experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's to next year.
Exactly. They'll come closer.
Yeah.
My 12 is Theater Camp.
Okay, yeah. What a film.
Just fucking
What a
awesome.
dope fucking film.
Yeah, it's so
Molly
funny.
Gordon co-directing. Ben Platt. I showed it to Talia, and she had a take that I completely agree with. She's like, I'm mad that, like, this is the perfect movie for Ben Platt. Like, anything Ben Platt's in, I want to hate him in. He deserves to be in this, and he does
Hansen.
great.
Yeah.
Like, of course it'd be him.
Yeah.
He knows more than anyone what theater kids would be like. He is one.
Because they're making fun of themselves.
Yes.
That's why. They acknowledge all the things that suck about them. And it's way more enjoyable to watch them do that than to watch them do the Dear Evan Hansen movie and try and take it seriously.
Did you watch the Molly Gordon fake Variety interview that she did with Will Ferrell?
No.
It's called Songwriters on Songwriters. And she goes up and, like, he pretends that, like, she walks up, she's like, oh, so nice to meet you. And he goes... he picks up the phone. He's like, "Yeah, there's a PA here, and she thinks I'm doing an interview with her or something." She's like, "Oh no, I'm the director of Theater Camp." He's like, "Oh, I thought I was getting Margot Robbie for this." Like, it's this whole bit where he's like very annoyed at her for existing, and then she's like, "I did Theater Camp." She's like, "Oh yeah, I did Theater Camp," because he produced the movie or whatever. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like the songs were so good." She's like, "Yeah, the song, the cast, the kids were so talented." He's like, "The kids I didn't really like, but everything else is great." It's fantastic.
That movie is hilarious.
It's very fun.
I think it may have. This is totally on a whim, but one of my favorite Letterboxd reviews of the year that I saw was on Theater Camp, and it was someone going, "If I had a nickel for every time I saw a movie this year where A.O. Debris pretended to be qualified to teach combat, I'd have 2 nickels," which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yes, it is weird that it happened twice.
And I was like, that's a great observation. I didn't think about that at all.
No, it's
so
true.
funny. I'm so glad she had that role in that movie of just showing up and having no idea what was going on.
No, it's a fantastic film.
Is that the tech guy?
That he did so well too.
Yeah. When I was watching that with Kat, she was like, I gotta look this guy up and see if he like actually does drag, because she was like, I've watched enough RuPaul's Drag Race to know a pro when I see one.
That's crazy.
Cue cocaine.
Yeah, and like Jimmy Tatro, Patty Harrison, just a really good cast.
One of the kids in that movie is in John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch.
Oh wow.
Isn't that a fun crossover?
Yeah, it seems like all of those kids they probably picked straight off of Broadway. Like they're not actor kids, they're theater kids.
Yeah, and I mean that's where most of the good, a lot of child actors do that.
No, for sure. Ariana Grande and like basically the whole cast of Victorious.
Yeah, like a bunch of the Stranger Things kids.
Yeah, that checks out. Oh yeah, because fucking Gaten Matarazzo, he's like on Broadway right now, I think.
Yeah. Sadie Sink's done a bunch of Broadway stuff, I think.
Gotcha. You did 12?
I did 12.
My 11 is Bottoms.
Nice. My 11 is Bottoms.
There you go. So you put Bottoms 1 over theater count.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's hilarious.
Bottoms
I laughed so much.
Fucking funny.
I gotta rewatch it. If I rewatched it, it might end up higher. But yeah, it's just ridiculously funny movie.
Yes.
And like,
it's
thank God we have movies that are still funny
more
being
goofy
made.
Comedies.
Yeah.
Because they're dying.
No, they kind of are.
And I hope we get more from very talented writers.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Rachel Sennett.
I don't know.
And
What's there to say? They're just great.
Yeah. It's just watch Bottoms.
Yeah, watch it.
Everyone will love it. It's just
fantastic.
a fantastic film. Okay. 10.
Blackberry is mine.
10. Yours Blackberry. Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is very different from Blackberry.
Okay.
My 10 is Anatomy of a Fall. I watched this
when
movie,
did you
I think,
see
4 hours ago.
Where'd you see it?
In this room. On the I downloaded it and I watched it today. Because I was like, okay, we're going to do the podcast today. I got to get everything ready. I worked out. Yeah. And then you were like, let's do the evening instead. And I'm like, Anatomy of a Fall.
Yeah.
Let's sneak one more movie into there.
I haven't seen it yet.
And then tonight for dinner, I was like, oh, the Golden Globes are on. And I turned on the TV and it said, and the winner of screenplay is Anatomy of a Fall. I was like, I just saw that 20 minutes ago. Great movie.
Yeah.
I love courtroom dramas. Some of the best acting performances of the year from actors I've never seen before. The dog in Anatomy of a Fall is like, Iowa Debris' review was like, this had the best performance I've seen maybe of all time, and it wasn't of any of the actors, it was the dog. And I just found that really funny. But it's really good. It's really engaging. It's kind of similar to like Past Lives. Well, it's definitely a more complex plot than Past Lives, but still very like just basic. There's no complications. Very much in your face what it is. Nothing up for interpretation. It's really engaging.
Yeah, I really want to watch it.
You definitely should.
I will.
You got a 9.
My 9's The Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the Heron. My 9 is also The Boy and the Heron.
That's crazy.
Look at us go.
Look at us.
Interlinked.
Yeah.
You know? We're fucking there. This movie was good. I like Hayao Miyazaki.
I like him a lot.
I just love looking. It's a feast for the eyes.
It is a feast for the eyes.
Okay? And people saying that the ending was too confusing need to watch more movies. Because movies like to be confusing at the end. It's part of cinema.
Yeah, it's true. I like the interpretation of that movie where it's all about Hayao Miyazaki dealing with the fact that his son cannot draw or make good movies.
That's really funny, actually.
And that, because the old guy's like, you do it now, and he goes, no. And it's like, oh fuck.
Well, I heard that he made that movie, like he came back out of retirement for like the fucking billionth time to be, because he's like, I gotta make a movie for my grandchild who was just born. So maybe this was being like, hey, your dad is shit at making movies. You have to be the one.
Yeah.
You know?
I just think that it's unavoidable to draw that conclusion from that movie when you
that's really
compare it to real life. No, is that it's about him just being like, fuck.
Yeah. You saw it on dub, right?
My empire. Yeah, I saw it with you.
You saw it with me.
Yeah.
It's been a blur. We've seen so many movies together.
We've seen a lot of movies.
Great fucking dub cast.
Yeah, fantastic. I was so happy when Dave Bautista showed up. Yeah. And I still just think that guy, because he just like really wants to be an artist and like a real actor, I'm sure that he was just like nerding out at the opportunity to be in that movie. I bet if you asked him about it, he was just so excited to say he was a part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I hope.
I would, and like Tony Rivolori is one of the most minor characters in that, and then learning that after, I'm like, hell yeah, Tony Rivolori plays additional characters. That's awesome. And then like Florence Pugh is great, obviously Willem Dafoe and fucking Christian Bale,
and Robert Pattinson as the fucking Heron.
Exactly.
Just so weird.
It was beautiful. I loved it.
I told you about how I was like, I thought Robert Pattinson was the Heron, and then watching the movie, I was like,
"There's no way.
There's no way. I must have heard it wrong.
I couldn't.
I gotta wait for the credits.
I gotta see a video of him doing that voice because that's crazy."
Yeah.
What's your number 8?
Godzilla -1.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see it.
Which is just a fantastic.
I've heard only amazing things.
It's just an amazing Godzilla movie. It's got all the things you could want in a Godzilla movie, plus all the things that suck in American Godzilla movies. The people are actually good. And the main character is a kamikaze pilot, which is just kind of an oxymoron unto itself, to know that the main guy his job is supposed to die, but he's not dead. And therein lies
he did his job bad.
His conflict. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's all about just like guilt in Japan post World War II, like survivor's guilt and things like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's a really cool movie. It's got sick action.
Yeah.
Tugs on the heartstrings. There's one thing that happens in the end of the movie where I was kind of like, I don't know about that. I wish you committed to this other thing that you set up earlier in the movie, but it was also good. It was nice. At the time when I watched it, I was like, thank God that this happened. But looking back on it, I'm like, maybe you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw a tweet recently. I think it was about Akira, but I'm sure it applies to Godzilla. It was like, Japan has made so many good post Hiroshima movies about the bomb and shit. Yeah. And then they said like, and America's made no good post 9/11 movies. And what I would raise to that is you haven't listened to Bruce Springsteen's The Rising. But other than that, I would agree.
Well, yeah, because like so much of, I mean, taking Godzilla -1 as like an example is like, that movie is like a critique of politics in Japan at the time, and the fact and how people are treated and expected to go and like essentially to die and like sacrifice themselves. And there's like so much stuff that people in Japan have done that's like post Hiroshima stuff, which has influenced like so much Japanese stuff, is an examination of like when that happened, and as well as like the things politically that led them to that. And it feels a lot more self-reflective, you know. All post 9/11 things are like, we have to invade other countries.
You're right.
There is no
it's so
like,
reactionary.
There is no like what did we do?
Yeah, I guess
wrong?
that just comes from like when it happened to Japan, they were like, we can't retaliate. It's over. We just fucking lost. Whereas America was still like one of, if not the biggest superpower in the world at the time when it happened. Yeah. So our immediate reaction was obviously, we gotta fucking get someone's head on a stake for this. You know, because we can't.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But anyway, enough 9/11 talk.
Yeah.
What is our
podcast?
You did 8? You just did 8?
Yeah, 8.
Okay. My 8 is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Interesting. Haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No. I just never. There was never an afternoon where I was like, I have 3.5 hours.
It's
plus the commute to
let
go
me
watch
tell you,
this movie.
It's a long 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's just like,
it is. Wow, but it's really good. I bought my mom the book for like her birthday because I was like, you're gonna like this, and she does like it. Incredible performance. Honestly, I think most people agree that out of like the main cast, Leonardo DiCaprio is like the least memorable, because like Robert De Niro does his thing of being an evil bitch, and Lily Gladstone is really good. Jesse Plemons even, whereas Leo, we've seen him so many times, we know what to expect from him.
Yeah,
but good cast, really good story. Yeah, I think it does a good job of like showing the Osage perspective, which is cool. And yeah, very good film.
Yeah, no, I
still got it.
would love to watch it. I just, You know, it's so long.
Yeah.
And you know what? Unrelated to that.
Yeah.
I watched, unrelated to any of this, I watched Train Spotting last night.
I saw your Letterboxd review.
Which,
I haven't seen it, though.
One of the things I considered making my Letterboxd review was, like, God bless movies that are 90 minutes long. Yeah. Like, enough of this 3.5 hours stuff.
I know.
Just let it, like, it doesn't have to be. The movie was so good. I agree. I was done. And I was like, yeah, 5 stars.
But you gotta take it on a case-by-case basis. Some movies deserve to be that long.
Yeah, I know.
I think it does Killers of the Flower Moon good.
I know.
And some other movies on this list good. But we'll get to those. My 7 is Theater Camp. It's not that exciting because we already talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason I put Theater Camp above Bottoms is because when I watched Theater Camp was right after I was at a jazz camp for 5 days in a row. Yeah. I worked 60 hours that week.
Yeah.
At my old elementary school, it was basically like a fever dream because I hadn't been there in like 8 years. Yeah. And I would be the first person in the school, like other than like some administrators, you know, that like worked for the camp. Mm-hmm. I'd be the first person there, and I'd be like one of the last people out. And it was just so weird to see that kind of cult, because like I would see in the performances of like Molly Gordon and like Ben Platt, like very just like exaggerated versions of some of the zany characters I'd see teaching jazz. Like it's not that far apart, you know? So it was very like cathartic to watch. So it like validated my experience.
Yeah. I remember watching that Theater Camp. Like the only other thing I can say about it is it's just like I have been involved in theater stuff and gone to camp, and just holy shit, what a insane whirlwind of emotions you would feel to do both those things at the same time.
No, seriously,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My 7 is Past Lives, which we also
talked about. Okay.
Yeah.
My 6 is Barbie.
Dang. Okay.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's about women.
His name's Ken.
I love women.
It is about women.
Best Supporting Actor of the Golden Globes did go to Robert Downey Jr.
God damn it.
But maybe Barbie wasn't nominated because it's a comedy. But Ken didn't win shit, so I don't know what he lost to. But anyway.
As long as he gets his Grammy. That's all I'm really riding on.
That would be awesome. I think...
And that seems like the most winnable award for him.
Yes.
Like, who's not gonna... What other songs were there?
Incredible movie. Very, very fun. Super funny. Endearing. It's just a good, feel-good flick.
Yeah.
And there's just great performances all around.
Yeah.
We forget Michael Cera's in that movie.
We do.
Because he's not in a whole lot of it, but when he's there, he shines.
He shines.
Because he's Michael Cera.
Of course.
Margot Robbie, of course. America Ferrera. These are good actresses.
Yes, they are. I love like how hearing about how Greta Gerwig was like, I feel like I got away with something with making that movie.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. It does feel that way. And just a testament. Can we all learn something from Barbie? That big adaptations of existing IPs don't have to be garbage and only exist to make money, and you can like make them good.
Because Mattel immediately after the success was like, we're making a fucking Hot Wheels movie. We're making they have a whole list. It's like 20 movies that they're already in production. Like, we're already greenlighting this shit. Yeah. They're not gonna hit as hard.
No, of course not. What could be the take-home lesson from the Hot Wheels movie?
Nothing.
Unless it's like, what if they make it about drunk driving and how it's bad?
Oh wow! And they reanimate. I'm not even gonna make that joke. I'm not even gonna make that joke. I haven't seen the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh yeah.
But CGI Paul Walker in that thing, you know, they probably still have the data.
Yeah, for sure.
You get Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth to do "See You Again 2." See you one more time.
I saw you again.
But yeah. Anyway, Barbie was really good. What was your 6?
My 6 was Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Which like it could be higher. I feel like if I watched it again, it would be. Yeah. I just I mean, it was really good.
It's really good.
It was really good. And I think I was thinking about it, and it was originally lower on my list. And the thing that like brought it up for me was I love the editing and just the pacing of that movie. That is pretty much my favorite thing about it, because it feels really tense and it's cool. The whole movie feels like a fucking like montage. It feels like a trailer for another movie.
Yeah.
And it's
such a long trailer.
It's pretty sick. Yes. And that's really cool to see.
I think like Christopher Nolan just has like such a good grasp of like how to keep that fucking hype at a 10 for so long.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's nuts.
Oh, I love Oppenheimer.
And just like I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. That hasn't
Roderick.
So many people have said Roderick
from
Roderick Rules. Diary of a Kim.
He's in that shit.
Yeah, he is.
Josh Peck's in that shit.
So's Benny Safdie.
Benny Safdie's in that shit.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh's in that shit. Need I say more?
No.
That's enough people.
It's an insane amount of people. Casey Affleck.
Matt Damon's funny as fuck in that
movie.
There. Casey Affleck is in that movie.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein's
the Florence Pugh and Cillian Murphy scenes were weird.
That's but like
what I think.
You have to do that.
I guess so.
You know.
So just it was quite funny.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Unfortunately,
I mean, God bless him. God love him.
Yeah.
Thanks for being there.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a bit odd, Chrissy.
That was your 6?
That's my 6.
I'll transition the sex scenes segue into Poor Things, my 5. What a film with so much sex.
Yeah, there's a lot of sex in that movie.
I think most of it justified.
Yeah.
Which is impressive for a movie with so much sex.
Yeah.
But I think...
You don't like sex in movies?
No, I'm just saying, like, there's such a trope, like we just said,
in Oppenheimer. You can cut that shit if you want. Like, just them... I mean, if we're spoiling scenes, just them sitting there. It was a bit weird. But, like, I think it adds so much to Poor Things.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing movie.
It's all about... discovering
the world. I'm just you didn't see the Golden Globes. Emma Stone wins for best lead in a fucking comedy or whatever. She gets up there and she says, this movie I think is a rom-com, but it's a romantic comedy where my character's falling in love with living. And I think that's so sweet and lovely, and I don't think I could have a better take than that.
Yeah. I'll talk more about Poor Things later.
Yeah. I bet you will.
I will.
What's your 4?
No, or my 5. My 5 was Asteroid City.
Asteroid City.
Little Wesy Anderson.
It's a good movie.
It is a really good movie. I don't have that much to say about it, really, because I didn't really take notes. But it's just an awesome movie. I love Wes Anderson movies. I love his cast. It was fun seeing Steve Carell and Tom Hanks get into the mix. It's fun to see other very popular actors do Wes Anderson things.
Yes.
And it's weird. It's so weird, and it's so much weirder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. I just remembered that. I just remembered the last 25 minutes of that movie, which I could see like turning off a lot of people, but also fucking awesome that it just takes such a turn and becomes so strange. And I like that so many of Wes Anderson's, like his 2 most recent movies especially, are like these weird takes on other mediums. Like The French Dispatch is like a magazine done as like a movie. It's got all its different sections and parts and stuff. And then this one's like a play, I guess. And I just think that's cool realm to explore. People say that movie is about Wes Anderson. I don't know.
Could be.
Aren't all
movies about their directors? Yeah,
in a sense.
Sure.
I don't know much about that, but just really good and really fun. Maybe some of my favorite like kind of sets and things that he's done.
Super fun, super engaging.
And you keep thinking that he's at like peak. His peak Wes Anderson,
he just keeps Wesing it up a notch,
he really does. I would love to see him make a movie that's more like some of his earlier stuff again, though, where it's like a little more grounded than crazy, just because I think that'd be fun. But also I love that he keeps making things crazy.
I don't think he knows how to make a normal movie. Like,
no, he doesn't really have one, but he has the earlier stuff, which is just like when he was getting less money.
Sure, but I think like most artists, like when they get asked like how do you find a style, their answer is how do you not make movies or songs the way I do. Like, it's the only way I know how. Like, I developed this through years. I can't really switch it up now. I don't know how to do that. this is how I would know how to express myself to like my greatest degree.
Yeah.
So I don't think Wes will ever make something more grounded.
Probably not. It would just be fun to see,
surprise me.
like, to talk about Bruce Springsteen again. Wes Anderson's Nebraska. You know? Wouldn't that be something?
No, it would. It would. So true.
It would be funky. And he made all those short films, so he had a real banger of a year.
Right, I didn't see
cool.
those, but I heard they're great.
They're on Netflix. You can
Yeah,
watch
I know.
them.
I just haven't gotten around to it.
They're short.
I've just been out and about.
Fair enough.
Busy boy.
Fair enough.
That was your 5.
Yeah. That was my 5.
Number 4, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I fucking love it.
Fantastic.
I don't know what to
So
I don't know what to say. They just made it better.
They made
than the last one, and it's not even like a full movie. That's how good it is that like this is a part 1 basically of this fucking saga, part 2 of the trilogy, but it really felt like a lead into the next movie.
Yeah.
And it was still so fucking good.
But I also think it's like I still felt so satisfied with it because there's a complete arc for the characters.
Absolutely.
You know?
And it was just the animation's incredible. Just better than any animation I've seen
like
maybe ever.
Ever made. I saw like a TikTok one day about someone talking about how they made that movie and they like break all these weird rules of animation. Like different characters, like
they have different frames.
Yeah, they're edited at like different frame rates.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Insane.
Cast is great.
It's so cool.
I have no notes. I think I honestly feel like this is the ideal way to portray comic book stories.
Yeah, 100%.
Over the
same with like the Teenage
MCU
Mutant Ninja
show.
Turtles movie that we saw this year, which was fun.
Yes, it was.
And it's like
that would be like an honorable mention on my list. Loved it.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right.
Yeah. What's your 4?
Oh, my 4 is Barbie, which we already talked about. I just loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And
so good.
Just what a moment in time.
What a moment.
Barbie, you know? People were excited about it. Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
That was a great week.
It was a great week.
It was a really good week.
It was a great night.
I don't have much else to say. We already talked about it.
Yeah, and I can skip through 3, which is Oppenheimer.
Okay.
What's your 3?
3 is Spider-Man,
which
I guess we can also skip through. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about it. It was just my 3rd favorite movie of the year because it's sick.
Okay, now we're in the top 2.
We're in the top 2.
I think we both know one movie that's on the other person's top 2 because it'll be the same movie.
Yeah.
I think you don't know my other one.
Maybe not. I don't think so. I can't think of what it would be. I don't think
you haven't seen it. So
Shit. Okay.
That makes it hard. Have I seen your other one?
Yeah. Okay. You've seen both. Okay. Damn.
My number 2 is The Holdovers.
My number 2 is The Holdovers.
And let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
This rocks. What a film.
It is.
We came out of that theater going, they don't make movies like this anymore.
No, they don't.
Paul Giamatti just won a Golden Globe. So happy for him.
Yeah, most like of the movies I've seen, the most like underrated ones that people need to like go watch, and no one seems to know about it in the world.
The best Christmas movie
Everyone
I've ever
should be talking about it.
Yes,
all the time.
I came back from that movie and I told my parents, you're not going to watch this now because you're not going downtown to see this movie. But next year it'll be on Netflix for the Christmas season. You're going to watch it. You're going to go, that's fucking gas.
My message to the people is even if it's not Christmas, watch it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not Christmas exclusive. They're not always like the spirit of Christmas.
It's a fantastic movie.
Christmas is the setting that makes all the other things that go on in that movie even more the powerful than they already are. But you don't need it to be Christmas to watch it at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Die Hard. Yeah, I don't know. Paul Giamatti's great. All the leads are really great. It's so cozy. The music's really good.
Yeah.
It's so wholesome. It's long. It's maybe not that long. I remember feeling like it was starting to get long.
It's like 2.5, I think.
Yeah, which is crazy, but
it goes through so much. It covers so much. It's not like
don't go on your phone
the tone
while you watch it.
No. Don't go on your phone.
Pay attention to it. Enjoy it.
It has the tone of a movie where you're like, I know what kind of movie this is. And then it's fucking not.
Yeah.
Because it's 2023.
Yeah.
We have new fucking movies now.
Yeah, you think it's going to be an old movie, but it's a very
so new.
Modern movie.
It's fantastic. Incredible performances all around. Everyone did a great job.
Oh, also Paul Giamatti's eye isn't just like that.
No, it's
not. And they won't tell you how they got it to be like that.
It's a trade secret.
It's a trade secret.
And I think that's great.
I think it's great too.
Because what do they think is the risk of telling everyone how they got their eye like that?
Know,
like, there can't be a big market for getting an eye to look like that.
No, not at all. But I don't know. Practical effects
I
are
guess.
sick, which is I assume how they did it.
Yeah.
Now everything is just done with computers. Sucks. But that's where the movie magic is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. Number one?
My number one's Poor Things.
Ah, of course. What a fucking film that is.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
It's so good.
There's a lot of sex in it. I just really like.
It's
hilarious.
enthralling. Loved it.
Yeah, and I loved at the end.
Yeah.
When it just does this crazy.
Yep.
I didn't think it was gonna. I thought the movie was about to end. And
No,
then the
that
thing
movie
happens.
had DLC. We were saying this on the way home from watching that. That movie had extra content. You're like, that's free movie content right there.
100%.
You could have ended it earlier, and I'm glad they didn't.
100%. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what. It's just all Yorgos Lanthimos' films, and I think I got this from just like watching a Carson Runquist video, are about like freedom and figuring out like what that means. And like that's a lot that just comes up a lot in all of his movies as a theme.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so interesting. And like the thing you were saying about like Emma Stone talking about
It's definitely a theme in this movie.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Yeah.
And he just addresses it in so many ways in all his movies. And he's just such a weird, cool director. And he's a weird, funky little guy. And
What more could you ask for?
I love that Emma Stone is doing weird movies now and not just kind of like Spider-Man's.
You gotta watch The Curse. Have you seen The Curse?
No, I want to see it so bad.
I want to see it too. I just don't have fucking Paramount Plus or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but
I'll get it by other means.
Yeah.
No, but she rocks.
She does rock.
She's an incredible actress.
Yeah.
And like,
and that was
it's a challenge to like. That's not an easy role to fucking portray.
Yeah. No, not at all. And it was so
really impressive.
cool. And like I said when we saw the movie, like all his movies are just like so well written and always have this weird dialogue that is so static and broken up, and like her talking like a baby. And
in her
stuff
speech,
like that.
She was like, she thanked the writer. She was like, "This is like my third or fourth year working with you," because they've done other movies together. She's like, "I just love reading your dialogue."
Yeah,
or something.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything feels so witty. All his characters feel just so smart. Everything's so punctual and fun to listen to. Yes. And yeah, it's fantastic.
It really is.
That's my favorite movie. And it is like in a year of movies that were quite weird and surreal and like with characters going on long journeys like Beau is Afraid. This was so like, I was just like, oh, this is so much cooler than like Beau is Afraid to me. It's like the same, kind of trying to do the same thing.
Right.
With just this surrealist weirdness.
I agree.
And that's just so much
journey.
better.
It hits it way harder.
Yeah.
I completely agree. My number one is Blue Giant.
I don't know what that is.
All right. So this is Blue Giant.
Keelan's pulling out a vinyl.
I bought this recently when we went to Ditch.
Oh, yeah.
This is an anime movie made for me only.
Okay.
I love it so much. I saw it once in theaters. It's not out in Blu-ray yet, so I can't pirate it, okay? It's not on streaming.
Where'd you see it in theaters?
Saw it at Silver City with Talia, and I was like, this is fucking... All I knew was it's an anime movie about jazz, and it blew my fucking mind.
Mo Better Blues.
I loved it so much. That I started reading the manga it's based on. Now, I don't know if you know much about manga. It's not an auditory medium.
No.
So if you read a jazz manga, there's just fucking music notes drawn, and you're like, the music's in my head.
Yeah.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. And I was reading the manga, and there was a little note, like manga writers like to do this, where they like put a little slice of life thing, like, oh, this is what I've been up to lately, in between chapters. And one of them was like, I've been listening to this pianist named Hiromi for lately. She's so talented. I wish I could work with her one day. And years later, she does the soundtrack, which I have in my hands, which is so fucking cool. And she does an incredible job. It's exactly the kind of jazz that gets me fucking fired up. It's like John Coltrane. I'd say a little bit like into A Love Supreme, which I'd say is like his peak, but like a little more tame, but not really. Like, it's not like digestible jazz. Like, it gets fucking intense.
Yeah.
And the sequences they do, because there's several performances of just instrumental music in this movie, and you're completely encapsulated. It cuts to people, and like there'll be times where like they'll play something and one of the performers will look at another one and be like, yeah, like, and you're like, as a musician, you're like, that's so raw and real. Like this is a real dance they're doing here. It's about the fucking human experience.
Yeah.
And they're all just so determined. Like that's a theme in anime a lot, where it's just like, where Americans really like stories about like prodigies.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Jacob Collier. He's just like, he knew how to do all this when he was born. Where like, this is the story of a guy who didn't take band in high school, and then he got a saxophone in like 12th grade and just played it outside obsessively. He's like, I'm gonna be the fucking best, and he didn't get any training for like a big part of it. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, but the passion takes him through it, and I love it so much. It's a fantastic.
That's awesome.
Fantastic
I gotta watch that
movie. Wait for that one to come out on streaming, because I will be rewatching it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that
many times.
Well, there we go. That's our movies.
I just got a like on Letterboxd for my review on Saltburn. That's awesome. That's our movies. We've been going for 105 minutes. Or is that an hour 5?
Oh my god.
I think it's 105 minutes.
It's been, oh, maybe it is 10 o'clock.
And we still have all the albums.
20 albums to go through. Well,
yeah. So we'll do it.
We'll do it. I'm gonna do my bottom. How many did we do?
We said 15. I have 19, so we can just do like up to 15 really quickly.
Okay. I'll go.
Yeah.
My up to 15 are Mitski's album.
Yeah.
The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We.
Yes.
Really DJ good. Shadow's Action Adventure.
I thought you'd put that higher, honestly.
Yeah, I really like a couple songs on it, but as a whole album, I liked other stuff better. But it is one of those. We were just doing songs. There'd be some songs on there that would be really high for me. My other, I don't know the whole title off the top of my head. Thomas Bellinger's orchestral album that he did, Mythologies, is in my honorable mentions, because it's fucking sick, and it's really fun to listen to a song called Minotaur, and you're like, that is what this sounds
so true.
Like, and that's sick.
And
then my other final honorable mention, which I messaged you at some point during the year and was like, this would be crazy, might be on my list, but is Zach Bryan's Zach Bryan.
I haven't heard
country music,
but yes, I've heard,
and I liked
people
it.
like that one quite a bit.
I did like it. I think he's got a little bit of he's got some corny,
some chutzpah.
Yeah, and he's got some really corny songwriting as like, and kind of falls into some more modern country cliches at times, I think. But also, I think he's got duende, as Demings would say. He's got some real soul and stuff, which great. I really enjoy.
I'll peep the guy for sure. So you did everything including 15 or not including 15?
That was that was not including 15.
So I have Blanket by Kevin Abstract. I think he did a really fun little direction, because it's basically like, it's like pop Midwest emo for most of it.
Right.
But there's also like some really intense parts, and like the production's great. I mean, Ramil does the production. Big surprise there. The two most talented people in Brockhampton really make some good music together. And I think it's a fantastic direction for him. I also think he's like barely recognizable. Like, if you didn't know it was a Kevin Abstract album, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, which I think is super impressive for an album of its quality.
Yeah.
And I'll just go through these other ones quicker because I have less to say about them. Grog by Frog. Great record.
Yeah.
You told me to listen to that one.
It's really good.
Mind Palace Music, which is by a band that just goes by the @ symbol. I don't know if you just call them @ or what, but
tag.
There are 3 records that I put in the what I'm calling the cute, not cute, like the cozy singer holy trinity of this year. Just cozy girl pop that is just like a woman barely speaking above a library voice, right?
Okay.
And it's fantastic. music, and this is the lowest one, but I also think it's the coziest one of the three. So this is maybe the Holy Spirit of the Holy Trinity.
Sure.
Okay, we'll get to the other ones. And then Struggler by Genesis Owusu, which was fun. But I just don't think it's as good as his last stuff.
I didn't really listen to it.
It was fun. It's good.
Okay.
I don't have much bad things to say about it, but it's just not amazing like the last one.
Yeah. Well, my 15 is Wall Socket by the Underscores, which I listened to very recently, and that's why it's quite low on my list, because I haven't really spent a lot of time with it. But it's fun, and there's a few songs on it that make me feel like the first time I was listening to, like, and this kind of is a weird example, but like 100 Gex music, where I'm like, this is weird and cool, and I feel really excited by it, and it merges so many crazy things, and that's so sick. And I'm like, wow, music is cool and exciting.
And
that's my takeaway.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
And I also just listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
My 15 is Hell Mode by Jeff Rosenstock.
Okay.
I think Fantano made it his favorite record of the year.
He did.
I would say I can't, like, maybe if Worry didn't exist, it would be ranked higher. Like, Worry is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
So I have to compare everything Jeff Rosenstock ever does to Worry.
Yeah.
There's a song on Worry that was my third most listened to song this year on Spotify. I'm still listening to that shit.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I think it's great. I think it's really fun, but there wasn't any song memorable to that degree.
Right.
I'll hit 14. We can go back and forth to Something to Give Each Other by Troye Sivan.
Okay.
He had a cool fucking rollout of an album with Rush. That single is really good. There's also quite a few other good songs on there. There's some nice hits. He has range, dude. And I also feel like he fits, like, the whole album has a pretty consistent aesthetic, which I think is very unique to him.
Yeah,
it's very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
My 13 was Grog by Frog.
Okay, yeah.
Which is just like fun. I guess it's like kind of the emo folk thing.
Did you do 14?
Oh, sorry, no, my 14 was Grog by Frog. Yeah, which is just like fun emo, folksy kind of stuff. Fun. But they're not super. They don't sound super sad.
No, it reminded me of have you ever heard the album 69 Love Songs?
No.
I don't remember the name of the band. It's just got a big 69 on it. It's literally 69 songs long. It's very long.
Okay.
But it came out, I think, like 99. I listened to it this year, and it feels very similar, kind of just like, we're making songs just to make songs.
Yeah.
We're having a good time.
It's cool. It sounds like they're jamming out.
Yeah.
And then I'll take it to 12 with Everything Harmony. Or no, sorry, 13. Everything Harmony.
Lemon Twigs. Great record.
Yeah. Super cool, soft rock.
Yeah. It's hard to put into words how enjoyable an album like that is, because like everything you can think of is like, I've heard all of this before, but they do it at such a high degree that you don't want to be like, oh, they're just ripping off. This isn't Greta Van Fleet.
No,
okay,
not at all.
They're grabbing from a lot of different sources. They just all happen to be very old.
Yeah,
but then they bring youth to it,
which is cool. And it's not good. Like really that era, like it gives me big Simon and Garfunkel vibes and stuff.
Yeah.
And as fun as like big a band and prolific as they are, and like Beatles stuff, like kind of earlier Beatles stuff and Beach Boys. But it's like people borrow a lot from their music, but not really like that. Like it's usually abstracted a lot more than maybe it is in the Lemon Twigs stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a very, very similar tone. But it's great. You're like, you're right. Like it feels really inspired by it, but also feels really new.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun.
So fun.
Chill. Really good.
I instantly became a fan after the first listen.
Mm-hmm.
13. All Who Can't Hear Must Feel by Jabuki.
Okay.
I am biased on this one. I've heard demos of this album for like 2.5 years. Okay. I have several versions of every song downloaded on like my fucking Apple Music from when I used to use that. So like I really got invested in a way not many people can on like the production of this album, just because I'm in a dumb Twitter cult.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very different for me, but I think it was so impressive how far Jabuki came in like a couple years and how determined he was to make this album. And like Alex Toomey mixed it, and he's fucking very talented. And there's just like
so much range on it. It's very cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I
That's
don't
right.
really have much more to say.
Fair.
You already did your 13.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hit 12. 12 is Wall Socket for me.
Oh, cool.
By underscores. It's my second in the cozy girl pop trinity.
Yeah.
I think it's like taking the cozy girl pop and adding the writing of like fucking Viagra Boys, K-pop.
Yeah.
That was the album I mentioned earlier. Where I'm like, every song is exactly what you think it's about, and they do it so well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So well, so engaging.
Huge.
And it's the only record on this list that I've only listened to once.
That's the kind of music
all the way up there
that I wish they'd play when I went out to like. Not that I go to clubs or anything very much anymore, but when I wish occasionally they would throw something insane on like that.
Yes.
You know,
it
goes so hard.
It's so fun.
My 12 is Fly or Die, Fly or Die, Fly or Die, World War.
Who the fuck
in brackets? Is that by? It's by. Shit, I didn't write down the artist name, and now I'm embarrassed.
No, that's
I think
even
it's
better.
Jamie Branch.
Okay. I'll add it.
Yeah, it's Jamie Branch. I know what I'm talking about. I don't know much about it, but there's some really good songs on it that I like. It's really cool. It's got some cool vocals. I believe Jamie Branch is like a trumpet player. That's her whole thing.
Cool.
And there's lots of cool trumpet on there. But then there's also a few.
Trumpet.
Yeah, she plays trumpet.
That rocks.
They play trumpet. I don't know.
There you go. Good catch.
And it's just super. It's great.
Thank you. Get that for properly gendering someone.
Thank you. I don't. Whatever.
Well, what you wanted me to on the miss? I didn't know about the misgender, so I could have hit a.
I don't even think. I don't know. I just don't.
You corrected yourself. You saved it.
Yeah, I did.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's cool. Check it out. It's fun. It's jazzy. It's peaceful, but has exciting moments.
Cool.
The Mountain is like one of my favorite songs on there, and has like this cool spoken word kind of thing, and yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, that's that. And it has a crazy title.
It does. I have a crazier title coming up.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you. So I will be one-upping you in that regard.
Right, fair enough.
That was your 12?
Yeah.
Okay. My 11 is The Record by Boy Genius.
Damn. I haven't listened to it all the way through. I don't know why.
It is like they're in their fucking prime. This is the Heatles right now.
Yeah,
okay?
I believe it.
This is Bosch, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. They're going back-to-back championships. They are balling.
I just don't feel like being that sad.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
That's been the thing that's put me off.
And like I support that.
Yeah, things are going good. So.
But I do feel for like once you need it in your time of need, don't go to Radiohead.
Okay.
Not this time.
Okay.
You hit the record.
Hit the record. Okay.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Really.
Sounds good. My 11 is Portrait of a Dog by Jonah Yano.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
It is. I believe Bad Bad Not Good does the production on it.
Oh.
They're
it's
involved.
Got Slauson Malone.
They're involved, and Slauson Malone is on one of the songs.
Sorry, Slauson Malone 1.
Yeah, so I think Bad Bad Not Good is like pretty much does all the instrumentals. I think.
I love Bad Bad Not Good.
I mean, dude, it sounds like Bad Bad Not Good, and then
concert of the year.
They have a singer for the whole time.
Yeah.
Who's Jonah, and she's great, and it's just a really fun.
Cool.
It's a good listen to it in your car when it's dark outside.
Gotcha.
Kind of album.
Yeah.
Or just when you're chilling, and it's cool.
Great.
Super vibes.
What's your 10?
My 10 is Madres by Sofia Cortez. I don't know. I wrote her name really poorly in my notes.
Cortesis.
Yeah.
Cortesis. I'd say if it's Spanish, but I don't think it is. Anyway.
But anyway, it's like a house electronic album. And it's just, I don't know. It's just fantastic. I listened to it a lot this year, just walking around or doing work. It really has this pace, this kind of driving sort of like push in it that I really like about like, and I really love a lot of electronic music, and that's one of the ones where I feel like I can play it at like a lot of different times, because sometimes a lot of electronic music does not fit into that. It's really can be very loud and annoying or too exciting, but that it feels like multi-purpose music to me. I feel like you could put it on if you were exercising or running, or when you're doing work, or when you're just walking around or sitting down, which is just fantastic. It's just a great soundtrack to anything.
For sure. Yeah.
I think.
Great record. That was your 10?
That was my 10.
My 10 is Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek.
All right.
And we'll talk about it later. But it's great. It
is great.
I listened to it like once in January while I was working out, and I was like, this is fine. I think I was expecting higher energy shit just because of how cunty the album cover is.
Yeah. There's some high energy moments.
There is.
For sure.
But then when I really went back to it, like in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, there are so many good fucking songs on this record. Like, so many.
She's a monster.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it. We can talk about it more later.
Yeah, for sure.
My 9 is Playing Robots into Heaven by James Blake.
Okay. I'm realizing, for whatever reason, even though Notes does an auto list numbering system, it goes from 8 to 10 for some reason. So I think Apple forgot how to count. Shit. So my next one's 8.
Okay.
So if you want to hit your 10-9.
My 10-9. Well, my 9 was James Blake.
Okay.
Playing Robots into Heaven.
Fantastic record.
And then, which is just, fantastic.
Yeah.
My only complaint about it is I wish more songs were like Big Hammer, because it was really cool. But that is...
I knew you'd love that record.
Is it my... It's that or Black Country New Road, which are my concert of the year. But James Blake was really, really cool.
I bet.
It was really cool. There were sick lights. And then 8 is Girl with Fish by Feeble Little Horse.
Such a fucking good record.
Which is fantastic.
It's so good.
It's
so good.
So cool. It is some of the funnest songwriting, I think, on it.
I think for the last 20 minutes I've had a Girl with Fish song stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's part of my psyche
right
now. It's
Steamroller, You Fuck Like You're Eating.
Yes.
Is just... what is that? What are they talking about?
It's genius. What was I gonna say? What was the record you said before that?
James Blake.
I listened to that while my phone like ran out of data, and I didn't have any maps, and I was stuck in like fucking where was I? It wasn't Oak Bay. It was more north. I didn't know where the fuck I was, and I was just trying to find Mackenzie, okay?
Yeah.
And that record got me through that. It was a very hot day, and it felt fitting.
Because they're on a journey.
But yeah, Feeble Little Horse, I loved their EP, I think it was last year, the year before. I was like, this is my fucking shit. And then they just impressed me even more.
Yeah, and it's so... I don't know how to describe it. It's just like really... There's a lot of distortion and just crazy.
So grimy.
So grimy and like dirty.
The production is incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so sick. But it feels so like, I don't know, intentional at the same time. Like, it's not like, it's messy, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's good.
Totally agree. That was your 8?
That was my 8.
My 8 is praise a Lord who chews but which does not consume, semicolon, open bracket, or simply, comma, hot between worlds, close bracket.
Yeah.
Which is a fucked title.
Yeah, it is.
By Yves Tumor. It's great. I love Yves Tumor.
It's another one I kind of dropped the ball on listening to.
But I don't miss. I don't know.
The opening track is sick as fuck. The ending track is sick as fuck. And everything in the middle is pretty decent.
Sweet.
It's good. It's just what you expect from their music.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair enough.
I don't think it's at the same fucking echelon as their last record, but it's still really good stuff.
Yeah. Crazy title. Was that your crazy title?
That's my crazy title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's a pretty crazy
There's
title.
a semicolon and brackets in there. And like they give you another option. They literally go, or you could just call it Hot Between Worlds.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna do that.
In my crazy title, which was Fly or Die, Fly or Die, Fly or Die, and it's at World War, is in double brackets as well. Let me put that
it's
to
safety
you for
for the past.
consideration.
It's fragile, you know. You don't want it to break on the in transit. That's crazy.
And then my 7 is Voir Dire by Earl Sweatshirt and the Alchemist.
Yes. Earl's great,
which
man.
I don't know if I can really say anything about it other than that it's like a full Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist album. And I just love what both those guys do and having them together.
Yeah.
Also, both songs, all the songs with Vince Staples on them are fucking awesome.
Yes.
And I love just the aesthetic of those albums. And the covers and the single covers and the main cover and just everything they got going on, I just think is really cool. And that was an album again that I just would put on kind of at any point. It was like easy listening for me. Like this year, I would throw it on whenever.
Earl's so good for that, and just Alchemist production in general. But...
yeah, it's insane.
No, it's so good. You know the kind of quality you're gonna get from Earl and Alchemist at any time,
and that's just like
delivered.
The genre of rap music that I like pretty much more than anything else right now is like Earl Sweatshirt, Mike, some Vince Staples stuff now. Like, it's fantastic.
It's so good. It's so good. My 7 is Everything Harmony by the Lemon Twigs.
Nice.
I don't think I have much more to say about it.
No,
it's just beautiful stuff.
It is gorgeous.
6 is Lahai by Sampha.
Damn, okay.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's such like a realized thing. Like, I think it's the most consistent in terms of aesthetic through a project that I have on my list. Like, it's so good. And do you have a song of the year? Did you think of one?
A song of the year?
Yeah. I don't know if we put that on the list.
No, not really.
Mine, when I listened to Sampha's album for the first time, in the middle of listening to Suspended, I'm like, that's the fucking best song I've heard all year.
That could be one of them.
Suspended is so gas.
Yeah, it's insane. No, I love that.
I don't know
album.
how you make that song, but it's incredible.
No, my 6 is Space Heavy by King Cruel.
Nice.
Which I was initially disappointed by when it first came out. But after a while, it grew on me a lot. And it's a really fun... I don't know, it's a direction it makes a lot of sense for him to go in at this point. And I'm so upset I didn't get to go see him play. That's like, he's like number 1 on my like
up on my live album was so sick.
Yeah, it's so sick. I own it on vinyl.
There you go.
And like, I don't own any other King Cruel record. Like, that's
just the live.
My like favorite album of his. It's insane. Anyway, that album's really good.
It is.
I love King Cruel.
He should make music forever.
He should, and I feel like he will.
Yeah.
And that album just has a cool theme of being like, I think he wrote a lot of it while like traveling and like space heavy. It's all about kind of being in between things. And that's why it's space heavy. And that's kind of why it's sort of ambient and stuff too. It's like moving around. And,
that's cool.
Anyway, being from place to place, which I think's a cool thing to examine.
Definitely.
And I listened to it on the ferry a lot this summer, which was great. It was a great time to listen to it. Because traveling.
Aesthetic.
Fits the theme.
That's awesome. 5? Where are we at?
5 is my 5's Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek.
I felt a little bad putting it low because I was like, is this going to be Evan's 1?
No, it's not my 1.
Okay.
It's just really good. And she's like just a monster songwriter and the production and singer. And it's so good.
I think it's one of those records where like I'm gonna have it on repeat next year.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I don't understand how it is not insanely popular.
Yeah, it has its Twitter stans.
I know, but I just don't get like, it's like some of the best pop music that you can like make.
Yes,
and it has such like, I don't see how anyone could like not like it if you played it for your most normie basic music NPC music listener. I don't know how they could be like, no, this isn't for me, you know? Like it's so there's appeal for anyone.
There is.
And I don't know how she's not like the biggest pop star.
I agree.
And I guess it's more in that art pop range of things.
But it shouldn't be.
No, but it shouldn't
Anyone
be. Like,
can take
more
that
people should. And it's like the same with that like Jessie Ware album.
Yeah.
From like a couple years ago, where it's like, how is this not?
Yeah, the best shit.
This should be, everyone would love this. Yeah. And it's just kind of a bummer that more people don't listen to it. And I mean, it's not like she's like an underground musician. She is still very popular, but I just feel like she could be way bigger.
Yeah. I feel like
and more people should listen to her stuff.
Recently, maybe it was when we were shopping, or I was shopping with someone. I think I heard a Caroline Polachek song in retail.
There you go.
And I was like,
okay,
it's happening.
we're coming up.
Anyways, so I hope she does.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your 5?
That was my 5.
My 5, not everyone should listen to. It should only be for fucking weirdos. But it is HMLTD's The Worm, which is a rock opera about worms.
Yeah.
If that interests you, please, it will deliver. Please listen. I
completely forgot about that.
It is so fun. I think the HMLTD's biggest Achilles heel is their cringy ass lead singer, and I think he is getting better. And I think the production is at its absolute best. Like, the instrumentation is fantastic. And he actually, like, I think the first song, you hear him, you're like, fuck off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then they really let him take a step back and be more like a supporting character. And it really fucking works.
Okay.
I love it. It's so good. It's exactly what they should be doing. Just fucking weird, silly shit, but taking it really seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool. I love it when bands do that.
Yeah.
My 4 is Javelin by Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah. What a record.
You know what I think every time I listen to that?
Yeah.
Album?
Yeah.
No one does dynamics better than Sufjan Stevens. That's what I'm thinking. When I'm hearing the music,
shy.
I see the pianissimo
quiet,
like
yeah.
in the and then it forte, and then, you know, I'm just like blown away by. That's just something I think about all the time, is the loud to quiet to, like, they're just such like mastery of knowing when to make things big and make them small, and the instrumentation's gorgeous, and the album's so intimate and sad, and
absolutely, it's beautiful. I wish I gave it more listens, because it's a long fucking ride, isn't it?
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I came back to, like, in December, because I was like, I know that this is good and I have to listen to it more, and it's just fantastic, and it's so heartbreaking and sad, the whole story about it. And
yes, definitely.
I've never really been a Sufjan Stevens fan. I mean, I've listened to some of his stuff here and there, but like, this is kind of the first full album that I've really like given my time to. Man. Yeah, he's amazing. And it just feels like he's just such a... My thing about dynamics is I just feel like he just is, I don't know, has this really fundamental mastery of understanding what makes music really interesting and exciting to listen to.
Yes.
You know, like that, and that's just what makes the songwriting.
He's had it locked down for a while.
So
I mean, he's
good.
come out with so many albums.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's like in his late 40s.
Yes.
Like, I
I
know he's been around, but yeah.
I mean, like, Childish Gambino had a bar about Sufjan Stevens in like 2011.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the only black kid at a Sufjan concert.
Yeah, right.
That was my introduction. I was fucking 10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
and
no
then I
idea.
didn't go listen to him for years.
Now I have to listen to more of his stuff for sure.
No, he's definitely been around. That was your 4?
That was my 4.
My 4 is Zango by Witch.
Nice.
What a record.
Nice.
So
it's
fun.
Fantastic.
So fun.
Incredible marriage of, like, metal and, like, ska, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and just Zambian music.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I think if Suspended didn't come out, Umi Bwesha Shuga, if I'm pronouncing it that right, is the fucking best song of the year. Other than that, so fun.
Yeah, I really liked it, and I was listening to it again a few days ago, and it like kind of fell out of my list just by virtue of the fact that I like didn't revisit it that much, which is not a knock against it at all. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's so good. That was my 4. What's your 3?
3 is Urapaya by George Clanton.
I never listened to it,
dude. It's,
I heard it's
so good. It's just so, I don't know.
I do love George Clanton.
Somehow nostalgic, and it has a little bit of moments on it where, like, when Black Country New Road, when I heard like Chaos Space Marine for like the first time, where I'm like, I want to jump up and run around, and it hits really hard. It's big, it's exciting. He does the coolest production of just music, I think, of anyone
Yeah.
I'm hearing right now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just one of the most exciting and fun records I think I heard all year.
For sure. That's great.
That's my 3.
I love that. My 3 is Perfect Saviors by The Armed.
Damn, I really didn't listen to it that much.
No, which is crazy because you were such an ultra pop guy. Like, you loved ultra pop more than I did.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one completely clicked with me. Like I liked ultra pop, but this one I was like, oh, they're not fucking around.
Yeah, I should go back and listen to it more because I'm sure I would like it.
Good.
I don't know what it was. I think there are a couple times I tried to listen to it and I put it on and I was just like,
it's just
not
wrong
right,
time.
Not right now.
Like that was what I was just thinking about with Javelin. I listened to Javelin twice, and it's an hour and 20 minutes. You know, so like it came out latter half of this year. I'm probably not going to listen to an hour and 20 minutes more than twice, maybe 3 times. Once was driving. And I was, busy, occupied with other things, thinking of other things, not really having it on full blast. And the other time was like a few days ago, and I think I was just like, not in the right headspace. But I'm sure it's a fantastic record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the luck of the draw,
And that's weird because like when I heard ultra pop for the first time, I distinctly remember I was like studying. I was in the library.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know. That's another side tangent. Is that sometimes I love to put on insanely loud and aggressive music while I'm doing work.
I remember in the pandemic, if I had an online exam and I had to lock in, fucking Money Store every time. Yeah. And it would bring my IQ up like 20 points. Like I was dialed anytime I listened to that shit. It gets you, it activates your fight or flight,
It does.
That was my 3. Did you do your 3?
Yeah, my 3 was Urap.
Right.
My 2.
Hit it.
Is Scaring the Hose.
Okay.
By JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown.
Of course.
It was my number 1 pretty much all year. Until I heard my number 1. And it's just, I don't know. What are we going to say about it? There's no one does it like them, baby.
Nope. It's exactly right. It's just
what a perfect marriage.
It's exactly what you expected it to be and more.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest sample flips ever.
Yeah.
Like fucking ever.
Yeah.
He's insane. Peggy is insane.
Yeah.
Danny Brown just showed up to work. He clocked in his hours. He did exactly what he needed to do. Fucking Red Veil's feature is incredible on Kingdom Hearts Key. The production on that's crazy.
Yeah.
Peggy has another album coming out soon.
I know. God Loves You was like one of my most played songs of the year.
So good.
I think, it just goes so hard, and it's all about eating pussy.
And that's what you need songs to be about.
It's true.
So good. So good.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's no surprise we love JPEG Mafia. My 2 is Girl with Fish by Feeble Little Horse. It is my 3rd on the cozy girl pop. It's the grimiest, but they're still singing like cozy girls. Mm-hmm. That's a girl under a blanket singing. And then just the most distorted ass production, and it works somehow.
Yeah.
And then catchy at the same time. Like there's so many impossible feats that are done there. Even the singing is like talky. Like it's like she doesn't have to hit every note at all.
No.
But it's so there's such a personality in that,
Yeah.
It's like almost sassy. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. But it's so good. I love the delivery. I love the production so much. I get those songs stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
They're fantastic.
They're great.
Well, now I know what your number 1 is. And you probably know mine, which is Lahai.
There you go.
Sampha
Lahai and Scaring the Hose is mine. It just couldn't be dethroned for me. I feel a little bad, but I got to be true to myself. That's perfect. It's a fantastic album.
Yeah, and I really thought about putting Scaring the Hose number 1. I think I just like revisited Lahai maybe more because some songs on there were like a little bit more palatable at any time of day.
Can I say one more thing about Girl with Fish?
Yeah.
It's 26 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not long.
Are you kidding me? That shit has like 2 albums worth of bangers on it, and it's 26 minutes long.
No, it's nuts.
Anyway, yes.
So good.
Yes.
But anyhow, Lahai is a really good. It was really exciting.
So good.
It was gorgeous.
I'm so excited for what Sampha does in the future.
In the next 10 years?
Because he's kind of just been like a feature god.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like his last record was also very good, but like this one's even better.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have that much to say about it. It's just gorgeous, and it's really exciting, and it's really pretty, and it's fun to hear a very like not traditional, but just a very pretty gorgeous vocalist over like this crazy production and all these other weird big instrumentals that he has going on, and the songwriting is fantastic. And he's talking about seagulls, and I just love it. And it was super exciting really and new and refreshing, and amazing music. He's goated. Oh, the one thing also that I thought about just now about Caroline Polachek, where I was like, she has to be more popular. I do forget that she is written for like everybody as well. She's like she's maybe she's still getting.
She's in the industry. People respect her. It's just this was her.
But I'm taking away from
kind of breakout in the solo foray.
Yeah, not to take away from Sampha's moment.
Yes.
And Peggy and Danny Brown's moment. Anyway, I don't have anything else left to say.
No, that's the show.
That's our show. These are the 140 minutes.
We did it.
Holy cow! If you're still listening,
love talking.
We love you.
We do. You guys are why we do this show.
You're great. Now we're gonna do 20 minutes of ASMR.